Good evening and welcome inside McDonough Park. I am Evan Carr for Red Wings TV, ready to bring you game number 2 of this best of 3 series here in round 2 of the Perfect Game Collegiate League postseason between the visiting Jamestown Jammers and your Geneva Red Wings. Jamestown took game 1 last night by a final score of 3-2, courtesy of a walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth off the bat of Brandon Nania. Geneva needs to win tonight in order to keep their playoff hopes and their 2018 season alive, as the Red Wings will send right-hander Stephen Branch to the mound in the do-or-die game here this evening. The lineup for Jamestown he will face looks like this. Leading off, designated hitter Josh Bramall. Batting second, center fielder Chase Kang. Batting third, shortstop Alex O'Donnell. Cleaning up, first baseman Brandon Nania. Batting fifth, left fielder Jeff Timko. Batting sixth, catcher Ben Lavorsi. Batting seventh, right fielder Dalen Lee. Batting eighth, third baseman Sterling Hayes. And rounding out the lineup will be the second baseman Brett Migliori. Taking the mound this evening for Jamestown will be right-hander number 37, Christian Young. Umpires for you this evening, we have 3 of them here in round 2. That is one more than we normally get for regular season and round 1 playoff games. Behind the plate will be Leo Cintron. First base will be Bill Stanley. And at third, Frank McClellan. Very pleasant 77 degrees here in Geneva. Partly cloudy skies, a slight breeze. 4 miles an hour blowing from left field to right field here this evening as these two Western Division foes square off here in Game 2 of round number 2. As I mentioned, the Jammers up 1-0 in the series, courtesy of the win in Jamestown last night, as these two teams will battle it out here this evening. If Geneva is able to win tonight, Game 3 will be played at a neutral site tomorrow due to Jamestown Stadium being unavailable. So it will be a home game for the Jammers tomorrow, but it will be played in Newark, New York. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. First things first, Geneva needs to handle business tonight in order to keep their season alive, as these two teams will meet off for the 13th time, as they met 11 times during the regular season, and of course once last night, as altogether Jamestown is 9-3 against the Wings this season. Stephen Branch has concluded his warm-ups as leadoff man Josh Bramall will step to the plate as we are just about set to get underway this evening. Home plate umpire Leo Cintron gives the okay, and the first pitch of the game from Stephen Branch is in there for a called strike at 7:06 as it's 0-1 on leadoff man Josh Bramall. Branch getting the start here this evening. He made 7 starts for the Red Wings in the regular season, as the 0-1 is in for a called strike at the knees, quickly 0-2 on the Jammers leadoff batter, designated hitter Josh Bramall. Branch, the native of nearby Rochester, New York, plays his college baseball at Division III RIT. From the windup, the 0-2 to Bramall. Chop at the plate foul, as that one caught a piece of Bramall. Looks like he's in a little discomfort, as the count will remain 0-2. This season, Branch for the Red Wings was 2-5 in the 7 starts. He had a 6.14 earned run average, 3 2/3 innings, 32 hits, 30 runs, 23 of them earned, 20 walks, and 34 strikeouts for the right-hander. From the lineup, the 0-2 to Bramall. Fouled off, and the count will stay 0-2 thanks to back-to-back foul balls by the left-handed leadoff batter for Jamestown. Branch has faced off against the Jammers twice in the regular season. He is 0-2. Those 2 starts coming on June 3rd and July 12th. Both of them were in Jamestown. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Branch climbed the ladder, and Josh Bramall is set down on strike swinging for out number 1 here this evening.
Number 13, Chase King.
So a good start there for Geneva as they look to take game 2 here tonight and even the series, with hopes of finishing off the Jammers tomorrow night. As I mentioned, that game would be in Newark if necessary. Chase King, the center fielder, will... It was a very dramatic game. Jamestown got out ahead early, 2-0, but 2 solo home runs from Tanner Murray. Nebraska tied the game before Jamestown ultimately won it on a walk-off single in the 9th inning. 1-2 swing and a miss, as Stephen Branch has started this game with 2 swinging strikeouts, one of Bramall and now one of Kang. And that'll bring Alex O'Donnell to the plate. Quickly 2 outs here in the top of the first inning as Stephen Branch looking like he is dialed in for his first playoff appearance here this season. Geneva wearing the red tops with the white pants. Jamestown in the road navies with the white pinstripe pants as the first pitch to Alex O'Donnell is inside for a ball, 1-0. O'Donnell finished the regular season hitting .315 for Jamestown. He led the team in runs, hits, and doubles as the 1-0 is in there at the knees for a called strike, and that evens the count 1-1. O'Donnell was 1 for 3 in the Jammers win last night. He had a double and an RBI as he also drew 2 walks and stole a base. From the lineup, the 1-1 fouled back and is now 1-2 on the number 3 batter for the Jammers, Alex O'Donnell, as Stephen Branch just 1 pitch away from striking out the side here in the top of the first. Branch peering in over his glove, and now from the lineup, the 1-2. Bounced in the dirt with the breaking ball. Good take by O'Donnell, and that will even the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So with the hit last night, O'Donnell now riding a 5-game hitting streak here in the end of the regular season and playoffs, as the 2-2 is a breaking ball outside, and now the count runs full on the number 3 batter, Alex O'Donnell. As waiting on deck is the hero from last night's game, Brandon Ania. First things first, though, a payoff pitch to O'Donnell, and it's swung on and chopped up the middle. Coming on is shortstop Tanner Murray. He will field and make a very tough play over to first to retire the speedy Alex O'Donnell. So Branch sets the Jammers down in order in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first inning, still scoreless between the Jammers and the Red Wings. We'll move to the bottom of the first inning here in McDonough Park, still scoreless between the Jamestown Jammers and your Wings here in Game 2 of the second round of the playoffs. Christian Young is on the mound for the Jammers tonight. He is taking his warm-up pitches on the hill, as I will give you the lineup he will face tonight for the Wings. Leading off, second baseman Jesse Hall. Batting second, third baseman Justin Barr. Batting third, shortstop Tanner Murray. Cleaning up, first baseman Nick Lebraska. Batting fifth, center fielder Jack Harris. Batting sixth, catcher Zach Miller. Batting seventh, left fielder Langston Livingston. Batting eighth, designated hitter Jared Gillis. And rounding out the lineup will be the right fielder Trustin Riley, as that is a lineup that will go up against Young, the 6'5", 215-pound right-hander. The native of Hamburg, New York is Young, as he has put up some just ridiculous numbers in the regular season for Jamestown. He was 4-0 in 5 appearances. 4 of them were starts, as his ERA was a microscopic 0.66 on the season, as Young faced off against the Red Wings 3 times. They were his last 3 starts, as a matter of fact, and Young was 3-0 against the Wings. So Geneva hoping to change that here tonight, as they will face off against Young for the 4th time, as Young making his first appearance in the postseason, as Jesse Hall will get things going here for the Wings, as they will dig in against a familiar foe in Young. From the lineup, the first pitch to Hall, taken for a strike, 0-1. To expand on Young's numbers further, he threw 27 innings for the Jammers, only 26 hits, as he only surrendered 2 runs in his 5 appearances, as the 0-1 is just outside, evens the count 1-1. He walked just 6 in 27 innings and struck out 27, so a strikeout an inning for the big righty who pitches at Division I West Virginia University. 1-1, breaking ball in there, quickly 1-2 now on Jesse Hall. I say quickly because Young works very quickly out on the mound. He gets his sign, and he goes right away. From the windup, the 1-2. Fastball up and out. Good take by Hall. Evens the count 2-2. At Division I West Virginia this past spring, Young was 3-1 with a 5.88 earned run average in 17 appearances for the Mountaineers. 3 of them were starts, as the 2-2 is shot foul out of play. Mentioned Young, a strikeout pitcher. He had more than 1 inning at West Virginia. He punched out 35 batters in 33 2/3 innings of work, as he is no stranger to setting guys down on strikes. 2-2, swing and a miss. As I was just mentioning, that's what Young does best, as Jesse Hall is set down swinging for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first, as that will bring up Justin Barr. To expand a little further on Young, prior to West Virginia, he pitched at Niagara Community College, where as a sophomore, in just 57 1/3 innings, he had 106 strikeouts and 9 walks. So I'm not kidding around when I say he knows how to strike guys out, but hopefully the familiarity will help the Red Wings out a little bit here tonight, as the first pitch to Justin Barr is bounced in for ball 1. As I mentioned, this is only the 6th time Young has pitched in a Jammers uniform and the 4th time he is facing off against the Red Wings. 1-0. Check swing, takes a ball up high, and the count now 2-0 on Barr, who comes in searching for his first hit of the postseason. He has been 0 for 4 in the prior 2 playoff games. 2-0, driven high and deep, left field. Going back, left fielder Jeff Timko, he is at the wall looking up, and it's gone. A solo home run for Justin Barr, and it's 1-0 Red Wings here in the bottom of the first inning. Well, that's been the story of the playoffs so far for the Red Wings, as that is the 6th home run they have hit here in the bottom of the first inning of the 3rd game they have played, as Barr joins Zach Miller, Tanner Murray, Jack Harris, and Nick Lebraska in the home run club, as he gives the Red Wings an early 1-0 lead in the must-win game here in the bottom of the first. As great job by Barr to get himself into a hitter's count there, 2-0. He knew he was getting the fastball, and he didn't miss it. Sent it deep over the left field wall for an early lead. So how's that for a start? After coming off a walk-off loss, that's just what the doctor ordered, as Tanner Murray will dig in, and Christian Young bounces the first pitch in for a ball, 1-0. Mentioned Murray has a home run in the postseason that came last night. It cut the lead to 2-1 for the Jammers. Eventually, Nick Lebraska would tie things up with a home run of his own before ultimately falling to the Jammers. The 1-0 is driven into center field. That'll get down for a base hit, as that one may be fooling center fielder Chase Kang a little bit. He started back on that ball. He thought it was hit a little better than it was, as that'll be a single for Tanner Murray after the home run, and the Red Wings looking very strong here tonight so far against the man who has had their numbers so far this season, Christian Young. So Nick Lebraska digging in now. He is 1 for 7 so far in the playoffs. I mentioned his 1 hit came last night. It was a home run, but he does have 2 runs scored. He scored a run in the August 1st game against Elmira. First pitch from Young. Check swing taken down low for a ball, as Young going to the breaking ball there to start off Lebraska, and it's 1-0. Lebraska finished the regular season hitting .328. He led the team in hits, RBIs, and walks, as he's batting here in the cleanup spot, looking to get going here in the postseason. 1-0. Fastball at the knees, and that evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Nick Lebraska, the 6'5", 245-pound first baseman, native of DuBois, Pennsylvania. Christian Young peering in. He has his sign, and he will deliver the 1-1 pitch to Nick Lebraska. Taken down low, as that one's skipping in just in front of catcher Ben Lavorsi, and that will make the count 2-1, as I mentioned the home run by Barr giving the Red Wings a 1-0 lead. Christian Young has only given up as many as 1 run in any start this season. The most he has given up is 1. Both of those come against Geneva, but already 1 run against him here tonight, as he will make a pickoff throw over to first. Tanner Murray diving back in safely. So 1 more run, and that would be a season high already for Christian Young. I mentioned his ERA coming into tonight just 0.66, but already tagged for a run here tonight, and only 1 out into the game for him. Murray, the 2-1 to Nebraska, is taken up high, and the count now 3-1. As now Christian Young will ask home plate umpire Leo Cintron for a new baseball, as Cintron will give one to Lavorsi and let him toss one back out to starter. So, followed by a single from Tanner Murray. If you're just joining us, he's on first base as a 3-1 count. On Nebraska, the ever-dangerous Jack Harris is waiting on deck. Young sent up the letters, the 3-1. Taken just off the plate, ball 4. As Red Wings now with first and second, still only one out, and Jack Harris coming to the plate, as now we will get a mound visit from Jammers assistant coach Hayden Carter. Carter talking things over on the mound with catcher Ben Lavorsi and his starting pitcher Christian Young. As I mentioned, Young doesn't give up a lot of runs. He's already given up one, and he also doesn't walk very many guys. He's already walked one here just moments ago to Nick Nebraska. So things getting off to a shaky start for Christian Young, and that's just fine by the Red Wings as they have 2 on and only 1 out, and Jack Harris coming to the plate. Harris hitting a hefty .625 here in the postseason. If you remember, in the one-game playoff on Wednesday against Elmira, he was 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 5 RBIs. He followed that up with a 1 for 4 performance last night. First pitch from Young. Driven high in the air, right field. Going back, right fielder Dalen Lee, as he is a couple steps in front of the track. He will make the catch, tagging from second. And moving up to third base is Tanner Murray. So a fly out by Jack Harris will be the second out here in the bottom of the first. But now runners on the corners for Zach Miller.
Catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
As the Red Wings looking to add to their early 1-0 lead, as generally you don't get too many good opportunities to score against Christian Young. As the Red Wings already leading here 1-0 in the bottom of the first, looking to capitalize on every opportunity they get, as Miller will dig in. The native of Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, he's hitting .250. So far in the playoffs, he's 2 for 8. First pitch from Young is now time will be called very late, as Zach Miller asked for time to be granted, and home plate umpire Leo Cintron gave it to him, so that pitch will not count. It would have been a ball, but ultimately no pitch, and we'll do the first pitch of the at-bat right here. Long hold by Young, and here's the first pitch, and it's popped up foul, as that one will get out of play and bounce on the concourse here at McDonough Park. 0-1 on Miller. I mentioned he's 2 for 8 so far in the playoffs. He has a home run that came on Wednesday against Elmira, as he was 0 for 4 in the 3-2 loss last night. Miller finished the regular season hitting .302, as he looks to stay hot here in the postseason. Young, a couple checks to the runners. Now the 0-1 swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there from the Jammers starter. He has Zach Miller 0-2 here quickly, as on deck would be Langston Livingston if it gets that far. 2 outs, 0-2, runners on the corners for the Wings as they look to add to their 1-0 lead. Christian Young looking to get himself out of an early jam. Young set at the letters. The 0-2 pitch to Miller. Fastball low and outside, as that was nowhere near where that pitch was supposed to be. Ben Lavorsi was up out of his crouch expecting it to be high, as Christian Young almost spiked it, as that one could have been dangerous for the Jammers. Good job by Lavorsi to drop back down and block that ball. So a 1-2 count now on Miller, as Young will come set. He checks the runners and now will make a pickoff throw over to first, as Nick Nebraska diving back in safely. Can't imagine Nick is going anywhere right here, but Young just trying to keep him close and doing a good job of that. Young with his sign, he's set. A long hold, and now the 1-2 to Miller. Fouled back, as that one caught the mitt of catcher Ben Lavorsi, as Miller with a last-second swing at that fastball doing a good job to just fight that one off and keep the at-bat going. That was practically by him before he started his swing, but Miller just trying to fight it off and keep the at-bat going, and he did just that. So still 1-2. Young looking to put Miller away. Miller looking to drive in a run. And the 1-2. Swing and a foul into the mitt of catcher Ben Lavorsi as Zach Miller is set down on strikes. That'll bring the bottom of the first to an end, but not before the Red Wings take an early 1-0 lead, courtesy of the solo home run from Justin Barr. We move to the second inning here at McDonough Park, 1-0. The Red Wings on top here in Game 2 of the second round of the postseason, courtesy of the solo shot by Justin Barr. Just 2 batters into the game as Stephen Branch back out on the mound after an impressive top of the first. He will face 4, 5, and 6 due up in the Jamestown order, led off by first baseman Brandon Nania. Nania was the hero last night. He had the walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth that gave the Jammers the decision in Game 1, as the first pitch to him is high for ball 1, 1-0 on Nania, who had played every single game in the Jammers regular season up until the last meeting of the season right here on July 31st, where he saw his impressive streak come to an end as the 1-0 just outside 2-0, as altogether on the season, Nania played 44 out of the 45 Jammers games. He hit .291, and he led the team with 33 RBIs. 2-0 from Branch. Swing and a miss. Nania taking a big hack at that one, coming up empty, and the count now 2-1 on the big left-handed batter from Export, Pennsylvania. Mentioned Nania had the walk-off single last night. He had another hit in the game. He was 2 for 5 altogether with 2 runs batted in, as 2-1 is in there for a called strike, evens the count 2-2. As Nania driving in 2 of the 3 Jammers runs en route to the 3-2 win just last night. From the windup, the 2-2 to Nania. Just down low. Good spot there from Branch, but he just missed, and it's 3-2 now on Nania, as Branch doing a good job to get these Jammers hitters to 2 strikes. He has 2 strikes, 2 strikeouts already in 3 batters faced. 3-2 here on Nania, and here's the payoff pitch. Pop foul and out of play. As Branch coming with the fastball on 3-2, Nania just spoils it back 3-2 to the Jammers first baseman, Brandon Nania. Top of the second, no outs, full count. And here's the 3-2 from Branch to Nania. Down low, and that's a good job working a leadoff walk by Brandon Nania. So Nania, who had 36 walks, which is a lot in the regular season, draws one here. It's his first of the playoffs. That will bring up Jeff Timko. Timko played last night, but he was 0 for 3. He had 2 strikeouts. He did get on base once. That was courtesy of a walk, but Timko is a dangerous hitter. He led the Jammers in average in the regular season as the first pitch is in there at the knees with the fastball 0-1 on Timko, as we have a native of Rochester, New York, facing off against a native of Rochester Hills, Michigan, as Timko hit .349 on the regular season for the Jammers. He had 8 extra base hits, 6 doubles, a triple, and a homer in just 19 games played. The 0-1 to Timko, just up high, and the count will even 1 ball and 1 strike, as early in the game, home plate umpire Leo Cintron not looking like he's going to give much up in the zone. He does give a good amount down low, as the pitcher is still trying to figure out his zone. It looks like he's been pretty consistent for both sides so far, as now we have a pickoff throw over to first. Getting back in safely is Brandon Nania. As you've probably heard me say all season long, this Jamestown team loves to run. They led the league in the regular season with an absurd 118 stolen bases in just 45 games played. So they run every chance they can get. Nania not with a ton of speed over there at first, but I wouldn't put it past the Jammers to try to put a play on here. The 1-1 to Timko, fouled back, and it's 1-2 now, as that one will deflect off the netting behind home and end up in the party deck behind the Red Wings dugout. So 1-2 on Timko, who has had a rough start to his postseason. As I mentioned, he is hitless in the 1 game he has played. 2 of the 3 at-bats were strikeouts, as Stephen Branch hunting another one right here, and it would be a big one. Branch gives a look over to Brandon Nania. He comes set on the 1-2 to Timko. Breaking ball in the dirt, and that'll get away from catcher Zach Miller. Moving up to second easily is Brandon Nania, as now the Jammers with the tying run in scoring position, and a 2-2 count on Jeff Timko, as that was really just a tough pitch. No chance for Zach Miller, the catcher, as that curveball spiked well in front of the plate and took off on the Red Wings catcher. So 2-2. No outs. Nania at second. Red Wings still on top 1-0, and Branch will come set. And the 2-2 to Timko. Swing and a miss. Great pitch there from Stephen Branch, as Timko gives a stare out to the Red Wings pitcher, and there is 1 out here in the top of the second on Branch's 3rd strikeout in just 5 batters faced, as that will bring up catcher Ben Lavorsi. As I mentioned in the open, Branch does know how to strike guys out. He had more than 1 an inning this season, 34 Ks and 33 2/3 innings, so both of these pitchers no stranger to setting men down on strikes, as Lavorsi will dig in here. 1 out, Nania is still on second, and the first pitch to the Jammers catcher, swing and a miss. As Branch going right after him with the fastball, Lavorsi took a healthy hack, but came up empty, 0-1. Lavorsi was 1 for 4 in last night's win over the Red Wings. He finished the regular season batting .247. He led the team with 4 home runs. Branch with a check of Nania, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Branch came at him again with the fastball. Lavorsi about a day and a half late, as Branch looks like he's fired up for this playoff start. He's really bringing it here tonight, and it's quickly 0-2 on Ben Lavorsi. Lavorsi, the native of Minnetonka, Minnesota. He plays his college baseball at Division I St. Louis University. He's in the hole 0-2 here against Stephen Branch, and here's the pitch. Popped up on the infield. Shortstop Tanner Murray will range a couple steps to his right, now a couple back to his left, and make the catch just about where he started, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
Right fielder number 22, Dalen Lee.
So the Jammers had a runner on second, no outs. They still have the runner on second, and Dalen Lee, the right fielder, will come to the plate for his first time up. His one was a double. First pitch here tonight to him is swung on and missed, as Branch not afraid to go right after these Jammers hitters with the fastball, and right now they don't have an answer for it. As Branch is looking very sharp here this evening so far. The 0-1 to Lee, fouled back, and it's quickly 0-2 as Branch came with another fastball there, and he's well ahead of the number 7 batter in the order, Dalen Lee. Lee finished the regular season hovering right around 300. He had .298 for Jamestown in 30 games played. The 0-2 popped up into left field. Langston Livingston will range over. He will camp under it and make the catch for the final out of the top of the second inning as the Jammers strand a runner on second and they don't score. We go to the home half of the second inning, still 1-0 Geneva here in game 2 of the second round. Go to the home half of the second inning here at McDonough Park. 1-0. Red Wings still on top as it will be the bottom of the order due up for the Wings against starter Christian Young as Langston Livingston will get things going for the Wings here against the big righty Young, who has already given up a run in the first inning. I mentioned get to Young here tonight as first pitch to Livingston is fouled back, and I'll fix the camera for you real quick. So hopefully that fixed things for you. The 0-1 is just outside, evens the count 1-1 as we didn't miss a pitch there. I'm getting too good at that as the camera's been getting knocked off all season long. I thank you for your patience all year if you've been following along on the broadcast. As the 1-1 to Livingston is popped up behind home, it might hear a loud bang here in a second as it will actually stay on the field. And catcher Ben Lavorsi will make the catch as that one had just enough backspin to stay on the field of play as Ben Lavorsi made the catch right up against the netting, and there's one out here in the bottom of the second inning, and Jared Gillis will come to the plate. Gillis, the DH here tonight, as he's playing in his second playoff game. He played in the one-game playoff on Wednesday, was 1 for 4 with an RBI. First pitch from Young is on the outside corner, 0-1 to Gillis, a native of Smyrna, Delaware. Gillis plays his college baseball at Division I Delaware State. The 0-1. Breaking ball check swing. Did he go? No, he didn't, says first base umpire Bill Stanley, and that evens the count 1-1 strike on Gillis, who finished the regular season with a hefty .304 average in 34 games. He had a share of the team lead in doubles with 8. 1-1, check swing again. They ask again and again. Bill Stanley says nope, so 2-1 on 2 check swings by Jared Gillis, as he has the count in his favor here against starter Christian Young. From the windup, the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gillis behind that fastball as he's upset with himself. That evens the count 2-2 on Gillis, as hunting another strikeout is Christian Young. I mentioned he just has some crazy numbers, and I'll dig a little deeper into his junior college numbers here as we go along, as the 2-2 to Gillis, called strike 3 with the fastball on the outside corner, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning.
From Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the right fielder number 21, Trustin Riley.
So Trustin Riley will come to the plate now with 2 outs as the base is empty, and starter Christian Young trying to have a clean inning here in the second. The first pitch to Riley is grounded to second. Slowly coming on is Britton Migliori. He will field and throw just in time to get Trustin Riley at first for the final out here in the second inning. We go to the top of the third. Geneva still holding a 1-0 lead. We'll move to the third inning here at McDonough Park in Game 2 of round number 2 in the Perfect Game Collegiate League postseason. It's a 1-0 lead for the Geneva Red Wings over the visiting Jamestown Jammers, as Geneva looking to even the series one game apiece and force an if necessary game tomorrow night, which would be in Newark, as Jamestown's stadium is occupied for the rest of their postseason, as Sterling Hayes will lead things off here in the top of the third. First pitch from starter Stephen Branch just outside 1-0. As I believe it's a Babe Ruth tournament that's going on in Jamestown at Russell Dietrich Park. So if Jamestown does advance, they won't even get to play at home in the championship, as the 1-0 from Branch is in there for a called strike, evens the count 1-1 on Hayes. As I mentioned, if Jamestown does advance to the championship, they will have to use Newark's stadium as their home field the rest of the way. As Branch from the windup will deliver the 1-1, and it's popped up foul, and that one will get out of play after Nebraska gave a chase, and it's 1-2 on Hayes, as that one bounces on the concourse here at McDonough Park. And as I mentioned, 1-2 on Hayes, as Newark just about 20 minutes up the road from where we sit here in Geneva. If you're not already tired of hearing my voice, or if you have some affiliation with the Jammers, I will have the call for the Jammers games if they do advance, but let's hope the Red Wings can win 2 in a row here and advance to the championship themselves, as the 1-2 is taken down low with the breaking ball, evens the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here on Sterling Hayes, leading things off in the top of the third inning is Hayes. He was 1 for 3 in the Jammers win last night. Branch from the lineup, the 2-2. Chopped foul slowly, as now they say it's fair. Oh, excuse me. Now a very late call. Home plate umpire Leo Cintron did not give a call. And it wasn't until he looked down to third base umpire Frank McClellan that McClellan said, I think that one was foul. And eventually it was called a foul ball. Geneva's dugout, you might have been able to hear them. They were screaming, throw it, to Justin Barr, because no signal had been given. They thought it was a fair ball, as did pretty much everybody on the field, but the umpires eventually called it foul, as Sterling Hayes may be selling the call a little bit, maybe actually in pain as he shakes his leg out a little bit, as the count's still even, 2 balls and 2 strikes, as number 9 batter Brett Migliori is waiting his turn on deck for his first time here tonight. First things first, though, 2-2 count on Sterling Hayes. Stephen Branch looking for another strikeout from the windup. The 2-2, called strike 3 at the knees. And Stephen Branch is all sorts of dialed in here tonight, as he has his 4th strikeout already, and he's not even through the Jamestown order once. So Brett Migliore will come to the plate now, the number 9 batter, as he digs in for the first time, as he played last night and was 0 for 4. Pitch to him, and one saying it, but I feel like it bears repeating. Stephen Branch is locked in. Even the pitches that are being taken by the Jammers are at the knees, on the corners, and just in perfect spots. 0-1 swing and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2 on Migliori, as Branch is just dealing right now. From the windup, the 0-2 to Migliori. Swing and a miss. And there's 2 outs here in the top of the third, as Stephen Branch has just completed going through the Jammers order once, and he has 5 strikeouts. As Josh Bramall, a strikeout victim himself, the first time up, will step to the plate for chance number 2 against Stephen Branch, who has been looking just incredible so far here this evening. Branch on the mound working with the high pants, showing the high red socks. He has black and orange cleats that he probably used at Rochester Institute of Technology, where he pitches his college baseball. RIT is the Tigers, and as you probably guessed, their colors are black and orange. First pitch to Bramall is just up high, 1-0. As I mentioned, Bramall 0 for 1. He had a swinging strikeout to lead the game off in the first inning. He is still searching for his first playoff hit. He's now 0 for 4. 1-0 is in there for a called strike. 1-1 now on Bramall, native of Harrison City, Pennsylvania. He plays his college baseball at Division I North Carolina Central. The 1-1 way inside. Branch does a little move to get out of the way of that one. Count now 2-1 on the leadoff man, Josh Bramall, as Mention he's still searching for his first hit. He was 0 for 3 last night. He did get on base twice, courtesy of 2 walks, and he also swiped a bag in classic Jamestown fashion. 2-1 to Bramall. High and outside, and it's now 3-1. As the last 2 pitches, not particularly close, as Branch has been cruising to this point, still in no real danger here, with 2 outs and nobody on, but a 3-1 count on leadoff man Josh Bramall. And from the windup, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. As it's now 3-2. I gotta think Branch's fastball's moving in some way because these Jamestown hitters are very good, and they're really nowhere close to these fastballs. Payoff pitch to Bramall from Branch. Swing and a miss as that one foul tipped into the mitt of Zach Miller. Stephen Branch strikes out the side in the top of the third. He now has 6 through 3 innings. We go to the bottom of the third inning, 1-0 here at McDonough Park in favor of the Red Wings. We go to the home half of the third inning here at McDonough Park in Game 2 of the Perfect Game Collegiate League semifinals, 1-0 in favor of the Red Wings, as the Red Wings down 1-0 in this best-of-3 series, looking to even things up as the top of the order will be up here in the third, led off by Jesse Hall as he looks at a first-pitch ball. Down low from starter Christian Young. The 1-0 to Hall, ripped down the third base line, but foul, and that will even the count 1-1, as if you're paying attention around the league, the other semifinal game on the other side, Amsterdam is leading Watertown 5-0 in that one, as Amsterdam can punch their ticket to the final with a win. As the 1-1 is in there at the knees for a called strike. 1-2 now on Hall, who was 0 for 1, as he was a strikeout victim back in the first inning, and looking to avoid that here with a 1-2 count again, as Christian Young from the windup will deliver the 1-2. Chop foul at the plate. The count will remain 0-2. As I was talking about earlier, Young strikes out a ton of batters. In 2017 as a sophomore at Niagara Community College, mentioned he had 106 punch-outs in just 57 innings. He struck out 8 or more batters in 7 of his 12 appearances and had 10 or more strikeouts 5 times, as he deals a 1-2 to Jesse Hall. Shot to the left side and through for a base hit to lead things off here in the third inning, as Jesse Hall has his first hit of the night, and that's a good time for it. Getting things going here in the third, and Justin Barr will come to the plate. Final thing I'll say about Young and his strikeouts for now is, if you're wondering, the most he had in a game at Niagara was 16 against Finger Lakes Community College on April 9th, 2017, as those games are 7-inning doubleheaders, so 16 of the 21 outs were strikeouts, as Barr shows bunt. Pitch is taken for a ball, and first base umpire Bill Stanley said that he did not go around. So it's 1-0 on Barr, as the Wings looking to play maybe a little small ball here, and Barr looking to catch the Jammers by surprise, squaring around a bunt. He is 1 for 1 with a solo home run, good for the only run here tonight. Here goes. Long look by Young. And the 1-0 to Barr. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. That evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike. The native of Pensacola, Florida, Justin Barr. He came into tonight 0 for 8 in the playoffs, but he's now 1 for 1 here tonight, as I mentioned, with a big solo shot in the bottom of the first. check of the runner over at first by Christian Young. That's Jesse Hall, and he's back in diving safely, as that wasn't all that close, but Young, so far here tonight, doing a good job to keep the runners close. Young set at the letters, the 1-1 pitch to Justin Barr. Popped up, foul territory. First baseman Brandon Nania moving over, and he will run out of room as that one just hitting off the roof of the pavilion down the first base line, and foul territory as that will run the count now 1-2 on Justin Barr, whose home run back in the first was his first home run all summer. He had none in 37 games during the regular season for the Wings, and what better time than in the semifinals of the Perfect Game Collegiate League playoffs. Here he's in the hole 1-2 against Young as the big righty comes set. Quick check of the runner, and the 1-2 runner goes. Pitch is grounded left side. Fielding is third baseman Sterling Hayes. He will throw on to first as Barr is erased on the ground out. Moving up to second base is Jesse Hall as he was off with the pitch, got into second rather easily. So runner on second, one out, and Tanner Murray coming to the plate. Murray is 1 for 1 on the day. He singled back in the first, but was stranded at third. As the Red Wings couldn't push another run across, they had runners on the corners with one out in that inning, with 2 outs. But Zach Miller was set down on strikes to end that frame. So Murray up here for the second time, Jesse Hall on second, and 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Young with a long set, and now the first pitch to Murray. Big looping breaking ball catches the outside corner, and it's 0-1 on Murray, native of Ben Lomond, California, who, with his first inning single, now has a hit in all 3 playoff games so far for the Wings. He had a 2-hit effort on Wednesday night against Elmira and was 1 for 4 last night in Jamestown with a solo home run. Christian Young set at the letters, and the 0-1 pitch to Tanner Murray. Swing and a miss as Murray tried checking his swing, but to no avail as he offered at that breaking ball in the dirt, according to home plate umpire Leo Cintron, and it's now 0-2 on Murray with Nick Lebraska, cleanup batter, waiting on deck. It's a really night and day difference for Christian Young. When there's nobody on base and he's in the windup, he works as fast as anybody, but when a runner does get on, he really slows the pace down. As we've seen here tonight, it's a good job. It's a good thing to do to try to control the run game, as Young does a good job holding runners where they are. Long hold. And now an 0-2 as now he will step off as Jesse Hall was jumping around at second base, made Young a little uneasy as the game really does just come to a screeching halt when runners get on against Christian Young. It's like he's a human rain delay with runners on, but when there's nobody on, he goes through the game like it's nothing. So good job by Young to try to control the pace of the game here tonight, as he really takes a long time in between pitches. The 0-2 to Murray, called strike 3 on the outside corner. I don't think Murray was expecting a fastball there on 0-2, but he got one, and it sets him down looking for out number 2 here in the bottom of the third. Still a runner on second, that's Jesse Hall, and Nick Lebraska will come to the plate now. As Lebraska, one of 5 players so far in the postseason with a home run. That came last night in Jamestown. It tied the game late in that one, but eventually Jamestown winning on a walk-off single. As Lebraska has walked in his first time up here tonight, takes a first pitch fastball at the knees. As he disagrees with that call, he tells home plate umpire Leo Cintron, I'm 6'5", but Cintron does say it's right at the knees, and it's 0-1 on Lebraska. Young with a check of Jesse Hall at second, and now the 0-1. Swing and a miss, says first fastball was at the knees, that one was at the letters. As Young working the lower portion and now the top half of the zone here against Lebraska, he has the big righty 0-2. As Young is searching his second consecutive strikeout, as he just set Tanner Murray down looking a moment ago. Move into foul territory and make the grab in the heel of his glove. So the Red Wings strand a runner at second but they still lead as we move to the top of the fourth inning here at McDonough Park. 1-0 Geneva on top. We move to the fourth inning here in Game 2 of the semifinals in the Perfect Game Collegiate League playoffs. 1-0 Geneva on top, as Stephen Branch has been in control so far here tonight, but he will have to face the heart of the order, 2, 3, and 4, due up in the Jamestown lineup here to start the fourth, led off by center fielder Chase King. As King coming to the plate 0 for 1. He was a strikeout victim back in the first, but there's no shame in that, as Branch already has 6 of those through 3 innings. First pitch to Kang this time is fouled back and out of play quickly, 0-1 on Kang, as Branch getting ahead of these Jamestown hitters all night, and that has been a key to his success so far here as it sits in the fourth inning. Kang has good wheels at the plate. He led the league with 7 triples, as I mentioned, almost every time he comes up, as the 0-1 is bounced in. Evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike. As I mentioned last time Kang was up, he had more triples on his own than 5 teams in the league in the regular season. Those 5 teams: Watertown, Elmira, Glens Falls, Adirondack, and Saugerties. 1-1 to Kang. He shows bunt and bunts it foul back into the netting, as Kang trying to catch the Red Wings by surprise. Not a bad idea, as third baseman Justin Barr was playing Kang pretty deep at third, and Kang trying to take advantage and drop one down. I mentioned he has great speed, but right there he just bunted it straight back into the netting, and it's 1-2 on Chase Kang, the native of Houston, Texas. Kang plays his college baseball at Division I University of Texas, San Antonio. 1-2, shot foul, as Kang doing a good job there just to keep the at-bat alive, and the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kang, who I mentioned hits a lot of triples. Last night, the double was his go-to hit. He had 2 of those in 4 at-bats. He scored a run and also drew a walk. 1-2 to Kang. Popped up again and foul, as Kang doing a good job to keep this at-bat alive. That one he just barely got a piece of, and shot over the roof of the grandstand here at McDonough Park to keep the count 1 ball and 2 strikes, as on deck will be number 3 batter Alex O'Donnell. Branch from the windup, another 1-2 to King. Driven high in the air down the left field line, but that one is slicing and will end up foul in the Jammers bullpen, as we'll have another 1-2 pitch to Chase Kang, doing a great job just to spoil pitch after pitch here against Stephen Branch in the top of the fourth. Branch looking for a way to finally set Kang down. Another 1-2. Swing and a miss, as Branch went to the breaking ball and Kang swung over top of it for out 7th strikeout of the game already for Stephen Branch, as he is having a career game here tonight so far. Alex O'Donnell will come to the plate now, as O'Donnell, one of only 4 jammers who has not struck out against Branch here in the early going. He is 0 for 1, though, with a ground out, as the first pitch to him this time is up high with the fastball for ball 1, as it's 1-0 on the native of Lockport, New York, Alex O'Donnell. Branch working quickly from the lineup, the 1-0. Down low, now 2-0 on O'Donnell, who led the jammers in runs with 36, hits with 51, and doubles with 11 during the regular season, as O'Donnell added his 12th double last night in the first game of his playoff season this year. 2-0 down low, and it's now 3-0 on O'Donnell, as if you are Stephen Branch, you obviously want to keep everybody off the bases here tonight, but particularly Alex O'Donnell. He has great speed, 14 out of 17 stealing bases. 3-0 is just up high, as Stephen Branch unsure where that one missed, but it's a 4-pitch walk to Alex O'Donnell, and now Branch will have to do his best to keep the speedy O'Donnell close. I mentioned he was 14 out of 17 swiping bags in the regular season, and he's 1 for 1 here in the playoffs, as he took one last night. Brandon Nania will come to the plate now, as that is the second walk so far issued by Branch, the second base runner of the game for the Jammers, as Nania, the man at the plate, is the other guy who has reached already. He walked back in the second. Before a pitch is thrown, a pickoff throw by Stephen Branch, as apparently Branch has the memo on O'Donnell and the Jammers, as both O'Donnell and his team will steal bases at will. And Branch doing a good job there to try to cut down the run game. First pitch to Nania is up high for ball 1, is now 5 in a row. Out of the zone for starter Stephen Branch, as he looks to settle back into the groove he was in before he faced Alex O'Donnell. Branch comes set at the letters, a check of the runner, and now the 1-0 to Nania is shot foul. And on the concourse here at the stadium, even as a count 1 ball and 1 strike on Nania, the native of Export, Pennsylvania. Mentioned the first time Nania came up, he had played in all 44 of Jamestown's games entering the final day of the regular season, but Nania not getting into action that night. That broke his streak of 44 consecutive starts, but he has a new one here starting in his second consecutive playoff game. 1-1, runner goes, pitches a breaking ball for a ball, throw down to second, and it's not in time, as great job by Tanner Murray to leap up and snag that throw from Zach Miller and tried to come down and tag Alex O'Donnell all in one motion. He almost got him, but ultimately O'Donnell sliding in safely with his second stolen base of the postseason, is now the count 2-1 on Brandon Nania, and the Jammers have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The 2-1 to Nania, high and out, count now 3-1 on the Jammers cleanup man, Nania. Jeff Timko, the regular season leader in batting average for Jamestown, waits on deck. Branch has his sign. He gives a check of O'Donnell at second, the 3-1 to Nania. At the knees, called strike 2, as Nania began to twirl the bat around and looked to toss it towards his dugout, thinking that one might be low, but home plate umpire Leo Cintron calling it a strike. As I mentioned, Cintron will give more low than up in terms of a strike zone, and showing that there. So we'll have a payoff pitch to Brandon Nania, and here it comes. Fouled back, as Nania fighting that one off just to stay alive. Jamestown does a good job when they get to 2 strikes, just fighting pitches off. But so far tonight, Stephen Branch has been figuring out ways to beat the Jamestown hitters. I mentioned he already has 7 strikeouts, and looking for number 8 right here. Another 3-2, runner goes, pitches a ball, throw down to third is not in time, as it will be a walk and a stolen base, as Brandon Nania will get to first, and Alex O'Donnell getting into third with his second stolen base of the inning, as O'Donnell really stole that one off Stephen Branch. He kind of picked up the timing of Branch and realized that after Branch gave him a look, he could just take off because Branch wasn't going to look back again. So there you see why Jamestown was the best team in the league this year. They have runners on the corners, 1 out, and no hits in this inning yet, as they can get a guy on and cause all kinds of damage on the bases. So runners on the corners, 1 out. Jeff Timko coming to the plate. First pitch to him is popped up on the infield. Nick Lebraska will come in and make the catch about halfway up the foul line, and that's a huge out of Jeff Timko on the first pitch as he pops out, and now there's 2 outs with still runners on the corners and Ben Lavorsi coming to the plate. As I was saying, Jamestown stole 118 bases in the regular season in 45 games. They can just take a bag at will, it seems, on some nights, as they can get a guy on and all of a sudden a walk can turn into a double or even a triple like that. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, top of the 4th, and the first pitch to Ben Lavorsi. Taken up high, ball 1, 1-0 on the Jammers catcher, Ben Lavorsi. As he bats here for the second time, he's 0 for 1. Is Lavorsi. He popped out to shortstop Tanner Murray back in the second inning. Lavorsi now 1 for 5 in the postseason. In 2018, he had a hit last night. It was a single. And the Jammers win as now catcher Zach Miller will go have a chat with his pitcher Stephen Branch on what the game plan is here. Lavorsi out and try to get out of this jam here in the top of the 4th as the Red Wings leading 1-0 here in the visiting half of the 4th inning, as they trail 1-0 here in this best of 3 semifinal series against the Jammers, looking to even the series here tonight with a win. And then game 3 would be tomorrow in Newark. The 1-0 to Lavorsi is spiked in the dirt as that one actually hit Lavorsi on the foot. And that's a hit by pitch that will load the bases here with 2 outs. And Dalen Lee coming to the plate.
Right fielder number 22, Dalen Lee.
So the Jammers have the bases loaded without getting a hit in the inning. They have 2 walks and a hit batsman. As now Dalen Lee will come to the plate for the second time with the bases juiced and 2 outs and his team trailing by 1. Lee is 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to left fielder Langston Livingston to end the second. First pitch to him this time around is a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1 on the native of Santa Ana, California, Dalen Lee. He plays his college baseball at Division I UC Irvine. The 0-1 swing and a miss. Dalen Lee about 1.5 miles behind that one. As Branch threw that pitch on a Wednesday, Lee swung at it on a Thursday, and it's quickly 0-2 on Lee as Branch hunting a huge strikeout. I mentioned he already has 7 of them here this evening. The 0-2 grounded right side, and that will get through for a base hit. 1 run comes home to score. Brandon Nania being waved around, and he will score without a throw. Throw goes into third, and he's out. As trying to get to third was Ben Lavorsi. Home plate umpire Leo Cintron signals that indeed Brandon Nania touched home before Lavorsi was tagged out. So that's a 2 RBI single, but the inning comes to an end with Lavorsi being thrown out. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Jamestown now on top 2-1 here at McDonough Park. Two to one, the 2-run single by Dalen Lee just moments ago. The Red Wings will have 5, 6, and 7 to up in the order as they look to answer the 2 spot put up just moments ago. As Jack Harris will lead things off. Harris is 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to Dalen Lee back in the first inning, batting here for the second time against starter Christian Young. And the first pitch at the bottom of the fourth is swung on and missed, as that was power versus power. Christian Young coming at Harris with a hard fastball. Harris taking a huge hack but coming up empty, as it's 0-1 now on the native of Watsonville, California. 0-1 is in there for a called strike. Jack Harris. Can't believe it, but it's 0-2 quickly on Harris. As I mentioned, Christian Young, when there's nobody on base, works at the speed of light on the mound as he is working quickly. The 0-2. Chopped slowly left side. That will hit the lip and bounce into foul territory as Sterling Hayes will move over and kill it. And that'll be a foul ball as the count will remain 0-2 on Harris as he is searching to keep his two-game playoff hitting streak alive. He was 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 homers in Game 1 of the playoffs on Wednesday against Elmira. He was 1 for 4 last night in Jamestown. 0-2 up high, and the count now 1-2 on Harris. Says Harris with a monster game, as I mentioned on Wednesday. He hit his 6th home run of the season, 6th and 7th, as now the 1-2 is just up high. As catcher Ben Lavorsi thought he had strike 3, but home plate umpire Leo Cintron says it's just up. That evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, as Cintron being consistent all night, not giving much high, but giving the low strike to both sides, if anything. 2-2. Check swing, he didn't go, and the count now 3-2 on Jack Harris as he looks to get on and kickstart a rally here in the bottom of the fourth as the Red Wings trail for the first time here in the 4th inning. Payoff pitch to Jack Harris. Breaking ball up high, and it's a good at-bat from Harris and a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 4th.
From Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, the catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
So Zach Miller will come to the plate now with nobody out and Harris on first. That's the second walk of the game issued by Christian Young. As I mentioned in the opening, you don't usually get many walks off Young, so you have to take advantage of them when you do get them. As Harris reaching on the leadoff base on balls, and Miller coming up here for the second time. He's 0 for 1, but he squares the bunt before a pitch is even thrown. Here comes the pitch, and Miller alertly pulls back on a breaking ball, 1-0. As Miller making it no secret here, he's trying to give himself up and push Jack Harris into scoring position as pitcher Christian Young hasn't even come set, and Zach Miller's already squared around to try to bunt again. The 1-0. Pulled back, it's a strike at the knees as Miller didn't think that one was good enough to bunt. He pulled it back, but the count even 1-1 as third baseman Sterling Hayes is right on top of Zach Miller at the plate when the pitch is finally thrown. 1-1 count. Miller squared around again, and here's the pitch. He bunts it, but foul, as that one will kick over towards the Red Wings dugout. It's now 1-2 on Miller, and we'll see if Miller will square around to try to bunt here again with 2 strikes, as he's really just trying to give himself up, but he can't seem to get the bunt down in fair territory. Jack Harris on first, no outs, 1-2 on Zach Miller, as it looks like he's going to swing away here with 2 strikes. And the 1-2. Breaking ball just inside, as that will even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miller thought about swinging at that one, but eventually it just stayed on the inside part of the zone, and he took it alertly. So 2-2 now, as Miller looks to salvage this at-bat after the failed bunt attempts. And a pickoff throw now over to first. Getting back in easily is Jack Harris, as Harris doesn't have all that big of a lead at first, but Young going to keep him close nonetheless. 2-2 to Miller. Driven in the air in right field. Dalen Lee will come in a couple steps and make the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as Jack Harris still at first and Langston Livingston coming to the plate.
From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, left fielder number 26, Langston Livingston.
So Miller upset with himself after not getting the bunt down. He shows some frustration in the Wings dugout, as Harris still at first, 1 out, and Livingston coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1 so far here tonight. Long hold by Young, and now the first pitch is in there for a called strike. At the last second, Langston Livingston flashed a hand up, asked for time, but home plate umpire Leo Cintron didn't grant it. If you're an umpire, you don't have to grant it if you think it's too late, and there's Cintron thinking it was. Livingston had really no chance on that pitch as he was still trying to get his other hand back on the bat as the pitch was coming in. So 0-1 on Livingston, and here's the pitch. This one just off the plate as just a tad further out than the pitch before. It evens the count 1-1 on Livingston. I mentioned he's 0 for 1 on the day, but he does have a hit in the Red Wings' 2 prior playoff games. He was 1 for 3 against Elmira and 1 for 4 last night. 1-1. Breaking ball up high, and the count will go to 2-1 on Livingston now. As altogether, Livingston is 2 for 7 in the playoffs. That equates to a .286 batting average in the small sample size. He has also drawn a walk that came back on Wednesday in the 7-5 win against Elmira that got Geneva the right to play in this 3-game series against Jamestown. 2-1 from Christian Young to Livingston. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed. Throw down to second, and it hits off the glove of shortstop Alex O'Donnell as backing the play up was second baseman Brett Migliori. He picked it up and tried to tag Jack Harris as Harris thought about taking off after he saw the throw was errant. But ultimately Harris diving back in, and he is into second with a stolen base. So 2-2 count on Livingston as he did off pitch, as now the tying run for the Wings is in scoring position with 1 out. Christian Young wants the signs again from catcher Ben Lavorsi. He motions the glove in a circle. As he didn't get the signs the first time around, now he gives a couple shakes of his catcher, and now he'll step off. As those two can't quite get on the same page here, as Young will toe the rubber again, as he will motion the glove in a circle again. Now he finally has the sign he likes, as he will come set, gives a check of Jack Harris, and the 2-2 pitch to Livingston. That gets away from catcher Ben Lavorsi, and moving up to third will be Jack Harris on the pass ball, as that was a fastball. It was pretty close to being a strike, and I think Ben Lavorsi just tried to snag it and frame it for a strike, but in doing so, instead of just catching it, and tried to make it look pretty, but it just tipped off the edge of his glove, so that'll be a pass ball on catcher Ben Lavorsi, and moving up to third is Harris, so the tying run now just 90 feet away. It's a 3-2 full count on Livingston. And here's the payoff pitch to the big lefty. Driven high in the air, deep right center field. Going out is Dalen Lee and Chase Kang. They are at the wall looking up, and it's gone. A 2-run home run from Langston Livingston, and just like that, the Red Wings are back on top, 3-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Livingston was looking for a fastball on 3-2, and he got it, and he didn't miss, putting it off the FLH Medical Urgent Care sign in right center field beyond the fence, as the Red Wings really using the long ball here in the playoffs. That is the 7th home run they have hit in the postseason, coming off the 6th bat of a different player. So Livingston joining the home run party. The first pitch to Jared Gillis now is swung on and missed. 0-1 as Red Wings coming alive here in the postseason, as I mentioned, with the home runs. As I told you, that is number 7. As the 0-1 to Gillis is swung on and missed. 0-2 as the Red Wings had 26 in the entire regular season, but as I mentioned, 7 already here. And they're only 3 1/3 innings into game number 3, as the 0-2 to Gillis is called strike 3 on the runs allowed by Christian Young, as the first pitch to Riley is up high for ball 1. Young had not allowed more than 1 run in any start this season, but the Red Wings tag him for 3 already here tonight, as the 1-0 is taken on the corner, called strike. 1-1 on Riley. Riley's 0 for 1. He had a ground out to second that ended the second. 1-1 shot foul and out of play. 1-2 as Christian Young back to his lightning fast pace with nobody on base here. 1-2 on Riley, 2 outs. In the bottom of the 4th inning, here's the pitch. Fastball up high, good take by Riley as Young tried to get him to go fishing, and Riley laid off. So 2-2 now on Trustin, the number 9 batter here tonight. 2-2. Thought about swinging, alertly didn't. And it's a 3-2 count now on Riley, as that one was just low. As again, catcher Ben Lavorsi trying to get a glove on it and make it look good, but just tipping off the edge of his mitt and getting to the backstop. 3-2 on Riley, and here's the pitch. Driven high in the air, deep right field. Going back is Dalen Lee, and he'll have to play it off the wall. Rounding first and going into second, standing with a double is Trustin Riley, as the Red Wings are starting to get to Christian Young here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as top of the order Jesse Hall will come to the plate now with a runner on second and 2 outs. So we will have a mound visit from Jamestown assistant coach Hayden Carter here to calm down his starter Christian Young, as Young, as I mentioned, given up more runs in this game already than he has in any prior start this season. As talk about the Red Wings home runs a little bit, they hit 3 on Wednesday night, 2 of them by Jack Harris, 1 by Zach Miller. They hit 2 last night, 1 by Tanner Murray, 1 by Nick Nebraska, and already 2 here tonight, Justin Barr and Langston Livingston providing the power, as the Red Wings on top here in the bottom of the 4th, 3-2, with 2 outs and an insurance run on second in the form of Trustin Riley after his 2-out double. So Hayden Carter, the assistant coach for the Jammers, calming down his starter a little bit, or at least trying to, as that mound visit is now over. Jesse Hall will come up to the plate for his 3rd time against starter Christian Young. Hall is 1 for 2 in the game. His lone hit was a single, came just last inning in the 3rd. Young back to the stretch, which means back to slow motion, as he takes a long look, and the first pitch to Hall on the outside corner at the knees. Hall doesn't like it, but it's 0-1 on the native of Tallahassee, Florida, as Hall had his 2nd hit of the postseason back in the 3rd. He was 1 for 3 last night in the loss to the Jammers. 3-2, Wings on top here in the 4th. Runner on second, 2 outs, and the 0-1 pitch to Jesse Hall. Breaking ball called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 on Hall, as Young painting the corner with a fastball, now going to the breaking ball, as he's showing Hall pretty much everything he's got. See what he goes to here on the 0-2 offering. Riley off second. Young will give him a look, and the 0-2. Broken back grounder. That goes back to the pitcher, as Young will come off the mound, field, and flip it underhand to his first baseman for the final out of the 4th inning, but not before. The Red Wings take the lead right back with 2 runs of their own, courtesy of the 2-run shot by Langston Livingston. 3-2, Wings on top as we move to the 5th inning here in Game 2 of the semifinals. Move to the 5th inning here at McDonough Park in Game 2 of the Perfect Game Collegiate League semifinal. 3-2. The Red Wings on top thanks to the 2-run shot by Langston Livingston last inning, as Geneva looking to even the series here, 1 game apiece, and force an if necessary game tomorrow in Newark. And you heard me right, that game would be at a neutral site at the home of the Newark Pilots, as Jamestown's field is unavailable for the rest of their postseason run, even if they do advance to the championship. Sterling Hayes leading things off against starter Stephen Branch as he takes a first pitch fastball inside for ball 1. As Hayes 0 for 1 on the day, he was set down on strikes looking to start the 3rd inning. That was the inning that Stephen Branch struck out all 3 batters he faced, as the 1-0 is on the outside corner, and it's now 1-1. As we have a score update for you from the other side of the playoffs, Amsterdam is up on Watertown 6-1 in the bottom of the 5th, as if Amsterdam can close that game out, they will punch their ticket to the Perfect Game Collegiate League Championship Series, as the 1-1 is taken down low. 2-1 now, as Amsterdam, no stranger to the championship series. They have won the Perfect Game Collegiate League 4 out of the 7 years it has been around, as the 2-1 is driven high in the air, deep left field. Langston Livingston going back, ranging towards the line, and that ball's foul. As it sliced, it did get over the wall. If it was fair, it would have been gone, but thankfully, just a long strike, evens the count 2-2. So, as I mentioned, Amsterdam has won it 4 of the 7 years this league has been around. They're up 6-1 in the 5th inning. If they can hold off Watertown tonight, they will advance to the championship again and face the winner of this series. 2-2 to Hayes, breaking ball up high, runs the count full 3-2. As Amsterdam, Watertown, and these 2 teams, Jamestown and Geneva, the final 4 standing here in the league this season. Branch from the windup, the 3-2 to Hayes, popped up. Foul territory, giving a look is Nick Lebraska, but that one will get out of play as a fan with a glove here made an attempt on catching it. It popped out of his mitt, and some boos can be heard from the Jamestown dugout, and all in good fun as the fan missing the, I should say, easy catch. It's easy for me to say. I'm wearing a headset, but nonetheless, it's a foul ball. Count will remain full 3-2. And Stephen Branch looking for another strikeout. Payoff pitch to Hayes. Just up high. Branch thought he had strike 3. So did the Red Wings dugout and the crowd, but it's ultimately called just up, and it's a leadoff walk for Sterling Hayes, and that'll bring up Brett Migliori. So that close was Stephen Branch to his 8th strikeout of the game, as now Jamestown manager Anthony Barone will call both batter Brett Migliori and base runner Sterling Hayes over for a chat in foul territory. And the Wings will take the time to do the same and have a conversation on the mound. Everybody in on that chat except for second baseman Jesse Hall and first baseman Nick Lebraska, as they strategy being talked there by Anthony Barone, the Jammers manager. As we'll see if Jamestown elects to put on a bunt or maybe a steal. They love to steal, as you well know. Led the Perfect Game League in the regular season with 118 of them in just 45 games. Sterling Hayes does have good speed, so we'll have to keep an eye on him over at first. Pickoff throw over by Stephen Branch before a pitch is even thrown. That's a good idea, both to keep Hayes close and to see if maybe Migliori would bluff a bunt, as Hayes, during the regular season, was 15 out of 16 swiping bases. First pitch to Migliori is taken on the outside corner for a strike, as third baseman Justin Barr is well in on the grass right on top of Migliori, but right there, not showing bunt, was the Jamestown number 9 batter. Branch with a long look over at Sterling Hayes at first, and the 0-1 to Migliori just down low. That evens the count 1-1, as so far tonight, home plate umpire Leo Cintron has been giving the lower strike more often than not. That one just a tad too low, but not a bad spot by starter Stephen Branch. 1-1 on Migliori, and now another pickoff throw over to first as Sterling Hayes dives back in safely. Branch doing a good job to try to keep Hayes close, as the Jammers already with 2 stolen bases here tonight, both of them courtesy of Alex O'Donnell. 1-1 is just low, as that'll run the count to 2-1, as Sterling Hayes still yet to make a move over at first, so not sure what the conversation was between manager Anthony Barone and his hitter and base runner maybe just trying to get in the head of the Red Wings players, or maybe just saying, if this situation comes up, do this. But so far, no movement from Hayes at first, no showing of a bunt from Migliore, as the 2-1 from Branch is on its way. Runner does go. Pitch is called for strike, and the throw down to second is not in time. As again, the throw just high. Tanner Murray doing everything he can to go up and get it and still try to bring the tag down all in one motion, but just not in time, as the Jammers have their third stolen base of the night on their third attempt. This one courtesy of Sterling Hayes is now the tying run at second base in scoring position. It'll be a 2-2 count on Brett Migliore, as Branch looking to work out of another jam. The 2-2. Called strike three, a backdoor breaking ball from Stephen Branch freezes Brett Migliore, and it's Branch's 8th K of the night for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Branch has really had everything working here tonight. As we take a look at Branch's numbers, his season high in strikeouts prior to tonight was 6. He did that 4 times, twice against the Jammers, as he has already surpassed that here with 8 through 4 1/3 innings, as Josh Bramall will come to the plate now. He's the top of the order, but he's 0 for 2 so far tonight with 2 of Stephen Branch's 8 strikeouts. Both of them were of the swinging variety. First pitch of the third at-bat is now a pickoff throw to second. Good move there by Stephen Branch. Shortstop Tanner Murray was crashing the bag, as Sterling Hayes alertly diving back in safely. Good job by Branch to try to keep Hayes close, as Alex O'Donnell showed in the 4th. Jammers not shy about trying to steal third as well. First pitch to Bramall on the outside corner at the knees. A perfectly placed fastball from Stephen Branch, and it's 0-1 on Bramall. The left-handed batting leadoff man, as I mentioned in his last at-bat, he's still looking for his first hit of the playoffs. He's now 0 for 5 in last night's game and tonight's combined, is Bramall. Branch a couple checks to the runner, the 0-1 in there, and it's quickly 0-2 as Branch using the fastball in the outer half twice in a row, getting ahead of Bramall here 0-2, looking to set Bramall down with the hat trick in terms of strikeouts. As I mentioned, Bramall 0 for 2 with 2 Ks already here in a whole 0-2 against starter Stephen Branch. Branch gives Sterling Hayes a look at second in the 0-2. Chops slowly foul towards the Geneva dugout, as that one will bounce around down the first base line. Branch going to the breaking ball there, as Josh Bramall was way out in front, but just getting enough of it to send it foul and keep the at-bat alive. On deck is Chase King. Like Bramall, King is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Branch with a check of Sterling Hayes at second, and another 0-2 to Bramall. Just inside, Bramall may have sold that one a little bit by jumping out of the way. As count now 1-2 on the Jammers leadoff man, the designated hitter here this evening. Bramall normally an outfielder, but getting the night off at least defensively, as he handles the DH role here this evening. Branch with a check of the runner, the 1-2. Check swing, did he go? No, he didn't, said third base umpire Frank McClellan. As I mentioned in the opening, 3 umpires here tonight in the semifinals, as the count 2-2 on Josh Bramall now. As during the regular season and the one-game playoff, there's only 2 umpires, as nobody would have been able to see that if it was still just a 2-man crew, but thanks to the third umpire at third, he was able to make the call. 2-2 to Josh Bramall. Popped foul and out of play, as Stephen Branch doing a good job there to climb the ladder on Bramall, and Bramall doing an even better job to just get a piece of it and keep the at-bat going. As we've seen Bramall in both his at-bats, when he gets to 2 strikes, he can fight and keep the at-bat going, but so far tonight he has gone down in both battles against Stephen Branch, as Branch tries to make it a clean 3. 2-2. Down low, Branch tried a changeup there, and it just missed down, so a full count now on Bramall, as now the at-bat went from 0-2 to 3-2, as Bramall having a heck of a fight here in the top of the 5th with a runner on second and 1 out. That runner is Sterling Hayes. The payoff pitch to Bramble. Grounded at second. Coming on is Jesse Hall. He will field on a hop and throw to first as Josh Bramble, a bit lazily, not even running out that ground ball. He didn't even let go of the bat. As moving over to third is Sterling Hayes, now with 2 outs, and Chase King coming to the plate. I mentioned during Josh Bramble's at-bat, Chase King coming up with the same stat line as Bramble through 2 at-bats, 0 for 2 with 2 swinging strikeouts. As runner on third, that is the tying run, just 90 feet away as we sit 3-2 Geneva here in the top of the 5th, and Stephen Branch looking to work out of a jam and preserve the lead. Branch has his sign. The first pitch of the at-bat to King. Popped up on the infield. Shortstop Tanner Murray will go out onto the outfield grass and make the catch for out number 3 here in the top of the 5th. A huge out there by Stephen Branch. Great job to work out of a jam. We go to the home half of the 5th inning here at McDonough Park. 3-2. Red Wings still on top. We move to the home half of the 5th, 3-2. Red Wings still on top as they come up for the 5th time against starter Christian Young as they hold the 1-run lead here in Game 2 of the best-of-3 semifinal series. Jamestown with a win would advance to the championship. Geneva with a win would force a Game 3 tomorrow night at neutral site Newark as the first pitch of the inning to Justin Barr is in there with a breaking ball for a called strike. Barr is 1 for 2 on the day, but his one was a big one. A solo home run back in the first inning. As the 0-1 is another breaking ball, this time swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2 on Barr. As Langston Livingston later added another home run for good measure that gave the Red Wings the 3-2 lead that they hold right now. I mentioned the Red Wings with 7 home runs in the playoffs here, as it's only the 3rd playoff game they've played. Those 7 coming off the bat of 6 different players, as Justin Barr will call time prior to the 0-2 offering from Christian Young, as Ben Lavorsi has moved from the numerical signs with the fingers to taps of his equipment. As the 0-2 to Barr is grounded to third, fielding a tough hop is Sterling Hayes. He will throw to first, and he airmailed it over the head of first baseman Brandon Nania. That one will hop on the concourse, and Justin Barr will be given second base on the E5 as that throw just sailed well over the head of Brandon Nania, not even close. As that one will go down as a throwing error on Sterling Hayes and an insurance run in scoring position at second with no outs for Tanner Murray.
From Ben Lamont, California, shortstop number 29, Tanner Murray.
So the Wings catching a break right there as Tanner Murray will come up here in a 3-2 game, bottom of the 5th, as the Wings look for some insurance here over the visiting Jammers. Young taking a while to get his sign. Now Tanner Murray will step out. It takes Young a while for his sign now because, number 1, he has a lot of pitches, so Ben Lavorsi has to cycle through a lot of signs. Number 2, Lavorsi, as I mentioned, doing a lot of equipment taps instead of putting down fingers, as it's getting to the point of the night where it's hard to see the fingers of the catcher if you're the pitcher. First pitch to Tanner Murray, breaking ball ripped into left field. Coming on is Jeff Timko, and he will make the catch on the well-struck ball for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. So a hard hit, but to no avail, as Justin Barr will have to stay at second, and Nick Lebraska will come to the plate now. As some catchers in the big leagues, as I was talking about the signs, like to put some nail polish or a highlighter, whatever you can use on your fingertips to try to make them easier to see. Some pitchers just tell their catchers to tap chest protector, helmet, shin guard, whatever you will, to relay the signs, as that's what Christian Young is working with right here, and it's taking him a while, as Ben Lavorsi has to cycle through a lot of taps, as Nick Lebraska now will call time prior to the first pitch he sees. Young finally has his sign, and the first pitch to Lebraska is a fastball at the knees, 0-1, as Lebraska again doesn't like the call from home plate umpire Leo Cintron. Cintron, as I mentioned, gives the low strike quite a bit. Lebraska is 6'5", so that's a tough pitch for him to go down and try to golf. But 0-1 on Lebraska. As a Cintron, the one thing I will say, he's been consistent calling that all night, and that's all you can ask for as a player out of an umpire. Young, a quick check of Barr at second. Now the 0-1 to Lebraska. Breaking ball stays up high, and the count evens 1-1. As I said, Cintron calls the low ones. Right there you saw him give the benefit of the doubt to the batter on the high pitch, as it's definitely more of a low zone than a high one for home plate umpire Leo Cintron here tonight. Young coming set at the letters. Gives a look of Justin Barr at second base. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Lebraska well behind that fastball from Young, and it's 1-2 on the big first baseman. Lebraska's 0-for-1 on the day. He walked in the first and popped out to catcher Ben Lavorsi to end the third inning, as he is up for his third plate appearance, second at bat here in the 5th inning. He had a big solo home run last night at Jamestown that tied the game. Lavorsi cycling through the signs again. Lebraska thinking it's taking too long, as he'll call time and step out. It's all about rhythm and being comfortable at the plate, and if you're just standing there twirling the bat around, and sometimes it can just make you uncomfortable and you'll want to reset. As Lebraska doing that right there, as the 1-2 pitch on its way, and Lebraska fights it off back into the netting, as the count will remain 1-2. Good job there by Nick to go up and get that high fastball and get a piece of it to keep the at-bat alive. That was a good pitcher's pitch from Christian Young, but a great job by the hitter Nick Lebraska to spoil it. Young peering in for the sign. He has it. Comes set at the letters, and he will deliver the 1-2 pitch to Nick Lebraska. Swing and a miss. Big looping slow breaking ball from Christian Young. Gets the strikeout of Lebraska for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th, and it'll be up to Jack Harris to try to drive Justin Barr in from second base, as Barr, if you remember, reached second on the throwing error by Sterling Hayes. He grounded a lazy-looking ground ball to the Jammers third baseman to start the order. Hayes sailed a throw not even close, well over the head of Brandon Nania, and it skipped down to the concourse. So Barr awarded second, but since then 2 straight outs, and now Jack Harris will come up to try to drive in an insurance run. First pitch to him, breaking ball just off the plate outside, 1-0. Harris is 0-for-1 on the day. He flew out to right in the first. He also walked in the 4th and stole a base, but it didn't matter, because no matter where he was on base, he would have came around to score on the towering 2-run home run by Langston Livingston that has put the Red Wings on top here, 3-2. Harris now calling time. As I mentioned all night, the pace of Christian Young really just slows down to a snail's pace once a runner gets on, and you can tell the Red Wings hitters are just thinking he's taken too long on the mound. It's the 3rd consecutive hitter that has called time at some point during the at-bat. 1-0 is a breaking ball just low, as that's now 2-0 on Jack Harris, as he's in a good hitter's count. Harris is still searching for his first hit tonight. He has hits in the first 2 playoff games. He's hitting a combined .625. That's 5 for 8 if you're doing the math at home, thanks in large part to his 4 for 4 performance on Wednesday. 2-0 from Young. Swing and a miss. Young climbed the ladder with a fastball on 2-0. Harris chased it, and he knew it. He made a face of disgust after swinging and missing, but that's the good thing about baseball. You get 3 strikes, as the count's still in his favor, 2-1 here with 2 outs, and Justin Barr on second in the bottom of the 5th of a 3-2 game in favor of Geneva. Harris, a few twirls of the bat as he waits for Young to get his sign. Young now has it. Takes a check of the runner and 2-1. High and out as Young just yanking that fastball up and out of the zone. 3-1. And still a good hitter's count for Jack Harris with Zach Miller waiting on deck as Miller now tossing the shin guards off his legs, anticipating getting up to the plate here in the fifth. Young coming set, check of the runner, and the 3-1 to Harris. Breaking ball in there as that one just catches the top of the zone. That will fill the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the ever-dangerous Red Wings center fielder, Jack Harris. Lavorsy points to his head before relaying the signs to Young, says, "Be smart here." Young says, "Okay," gets a sign, and the payoff pitch to Harris. Breaking ball outside, he missed, and it's ball 4 as Harris has his second walk in as many innings as the Red Wings now with first and second, and still 2 outs for catcher Zach Miller. I think that catcher Ben Lavorsy, in pointing to his head there, was saying, just be smart with this pitch. You have a base open. Zach Miller coming to the plate 0 for 2 as Jack Harris, a very dangerous hitter. Lavorsy didn't want that pitch to be hittable if necessary, and he's trying just to get Jack Harris to go chasing. Harris smartly laid off as Lavorsy will now go have a chat with his starter as there is some activity in the Jamestown bullpen. I can't tell who it is warming up, but there is some stirring going on down there as we sit in the bottom of the 5th, 2 outs, first and second runners, and Zach Miller coming to the plate.
University of Pennsylvania, catcher number 18, Zach Miller.
As I mentioned, Miller 0 for 2. He has a swinging strikeout that ended the first and a flyout to right fielder Dalen Lee just last inning in the 4th. Batting here for the 3rd time is Miller. And the first pitch of the at-bat. Driven into left center field. Going out is Chase Kang, the center fielder, and he will make a great sliding catch in center field. What a play by the Jammers center fielder on that cap shot, as that will bring the 5th inning to a close. The Red Wings strand 2, but they still lead 3-2 as we move to the top of the 6th inning here at McDonough Park. We move to the 6th inning of Game 2 here in the Perfect Game Collegiate League semifinal round, as Jamestown holding a 1-0 lead in the series, but Geneva holding a 3-2 lead here this evening, as it will be 3, 4, and 5 due up in the Jammers order against starter Stephen Branch as he comes back out for his 6th inning of work. He has looked very good here tonight. First pitch to Alex O'Donnell just inside, and it's 1-0 as O'Donnell 0 for 1 on the day, but the one time he got on base, he did wreak some havoc. He drew a walk and stole 2 bases. That was back in the 4th as the 1-0 is up high 2-0, as it's always dangerous when you let O'Donnell on base. Branch falling behind 2-0 here, trying to avoid doing that, as now there's some stirring in the Geneva bullpen as a 2-0 to O'Donnell is in there for a called strike, 2-1. Branch has 8 strikeouts through his 5 innings of work. That was highlighted by the 3rd inning where he struck out all 3 jammers he faced as he deals a 2-1 to O'Donnell just below the knees, 3-1, as that one just a tad below Leo Cintron's low zone. And the count now 3-1 on the speedy number 3 batter. 3-1 pitch, up and in, and it's a leadoff walk to Alex O'Donnell. So now, if you're the Red Wings, you need to pay attention again to O'Donnell, who, as I mentioned, already has 2 stolen bases on the day. He had 14 in the regular season. He now has 3 here in the playoffs, does O'Donnell. So Red Wings will have to pay close attention to Alex over at first base as Brandon Nania will dig in. A lot of signs being flashed down in the third base coach's box by manager Anthony Barone prior to Nania digging in, but now the big lefty will finally step into the box as O'Donnell on first, nobody out. First pitch, down low, 1-0. As Nania up here for the 3rd plate appearance of his night, he is 0 for 0 officially. 2 times up, 2 walks, as he has reached second both times he has been on base, but has been stranded there both times. Pickoff throw over to first prior to the 1-0 offering from Stephen Branch sees Alex O'Donnell diving back in safely. As I mentioned, Branch with 8 strikeouts on the day. He also has 5 walks, 2 of them to O'Donnell, 2 to Nania, and 1 to Sterling Hayes. 1-0 to Nania. Grounded to first. Fielding is Nebraska as it bounces off the heel of his glove. He will pick it up and step on the bag for the out. Moving down to second is Alex O'Donnell, as I think that would have been a tough play to get a double play either way. Nebraska really would have had to hurry to get the speedy Alex O'Donnell at second, but as a result of it just bouncing off his glove, the first baseman, Nick Nebraska, only had 1 play anyway, and he stepped on first and took it. So tying run in scoring position for Jamestown, that's in the form of Alex O'Donnell at second base, as Jeff Timko will dig in. Meeting at the mound here between middle infielders Jesse Hall, Tanner Murray, and catcher Zach Miller, along with, of course, the man on the mound, Stephen Branch, who is working here in the 6th inning, as he will face Jeff Timko, the regular season batting average leader for the Jammers. Timko hit .349 for Jamestown, but he is so far 0 for 5 here in the postseason. He was 0 for 3 last night with 2 strikeouts. He's 0 for 2 here tonight with 1 strikeout. His other out was a pop-out to first base. Branch, a check of O'Donnell at second. The first pitch to Timko fouled back as that one hits off the head of Zach Miller and deflects back to the screen. Home plate umpire Leo Cintron was going to take a walk out to pitcher Stephen Branch to give Miller some more time, but Miller right away threw the glove up, said, "Give me another baseball, I'm good." And we play on. 0-1, 1 out on Timko. Tying run at second, 3-2, Wings on top. O'Donnell doing a lot of jumping around, but the pitch will be delivered as it's up high with the breaking ball, 1-1. As I mentioned, O'Donnell already with 2 steals on the day. He stole second and third in the 4th. He's jumping around a lot at second right now. Stephen Branch paying a lot of attention to him, and for good reason. 1-1 to Timko, swing and a miss. As Timko well behind that fastball, as Branch in control now, looking for his 9th strikeout of the game is Branch. He has at least 1 in every inning here tonight. As it's 2-2 on Timko. My apologies, but nonetheless, still 2 strikes. Branch still looking for a punch-out. As he peers in for his sign, he has it from catcher Zach Miller. A check of O'Donnell at second, and the 2-2 to Timko. Strike 3 called. Timko thought it was low and outside. He has a heated argument with home plate umpire Leo Cintron, but ultimately Cintron calling it strike 3. Timko walks back to the dugout unhappy, and there's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. We've seen some questionable pitches go each way here in this game. But the one thing you can say about Cintron, he is very consistent. He'll give the low strike to the pitcher, and the hitters have to know that. Right there, some other umpires might have called that pitch a ball, but Cintron loves that pitch. And Stephen Branch doing a good job knowing that and going there for his 9th strikeout. First pitch to catcher Ben Lavorsi's popped up. Shallow center going out is shortstop Tanner Murray. He backpedals. He's now called off by center fielder Jack Harris, who will make the catch as Jamestown strands another runner in scoring position as they go down empty in the top of the 6th. We go to the home half of the 6th inning. 3-2 Geneva still on top here in Game 2 of the semifinal round of the postseason. Go to the home half of the 6th inning here in Game 2 of the semifinal round of the postseason. Jamestown with a 1-0 series lead, but Geneva with a 3-2 lead in the game here tonight, looking to even things up and force a Game 3 tomorrow night, which would be in Newark. If you missed out, I've been mentioning it all night. Jamestown's field is unavailable to them tomorrow and then next week if they advance to the championship. So the remaining home games for the Jammers in the playoffs will be played in Newark. So leading off the bottom of the 6th, Langston Livingston as he faces off against starter Christian Young. First pitch is a fastball high and out for ball 1. Livingston 1 for 2 on the day. His one was a big one, both in how far it went and what it meant. It was a towering 2-run home run in the 4th that gave us the lead we sit at right now, 3-2, as the 1-0 is in there for a called strike. Evens the count 1-1 on the big lefty from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The home run in the 4th was Langston's 4th of the 2018 campaign, both combined regular season and playoffs, as the 1-1 is shot foul out of play. 1-2 on Livingston, as fortunately it doesn't look like I will be able to have the call from Newark tomorrow for the Jammers home game. But if you like listening to me, you'll get more of me either way. Either I call the Red Wings games, as I've done all season in the championship, as the 1-2 is in high for ball 2, 2-2, or because the Jammers do not have a radio broadcaster, and we are pretty close to Newark. They approached me, asked me if I would do it, and I graciously said I would. So I'm not ready to be done calling baseball here this summer, and I won't have to because I'll be calling the championship either way, as the 2-2 is chopped foul at the plate. Count still 2-2. As I obviously hope, since I am the Red Wings broadcaster, that the boys can pull it off here tonight and win tomorrow, as it will be them in the championship. But if Jamestown were to win either tonight or tomorrow if necessary, it would be the Jammers in the championship, and I would be calling those games from Newark. 2-2 to Livingston, up high with the fastball. Runs the count full 3-2 on Livingston, the left fielder here tonight. As I mentioned, he now has a hit in all 3 playoff games he has played in. Young from the windup. The payoff pitch to Livingston. Swing and a miss. Good changeup by Christian Young there, as Livingston was looking for a fastball on 3-2, and he got what looked like a fastball until it was right about at the batter's box, and then the bottom just dropped out of it. So strikeout by Livingston, but you can't fault him at all. That's a big league changeup from Christian Young for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Jared Gillis coming to the plate now, as he is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on the day, facing off here for the third time against Young. First pitch grounded softly to short. Coming on is O'Donnell. He will field and throw across his body. Great play by the Jammers shortstop, as there's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Trustin Riley coming to the plate now. I have to think he might be taking a pitch or two just to try to give his starter, Stephen Branch, a little more time to cool off in the dugout. As Riley digging in, he is 1 for 2. He hit a 2-out double in the 4th, but was stranded there. First pitch this at-bat is up high for ball 1, 1-0 on Riley, who hit 4 doubles in the regular season, as he has his 5th now combined in the regular season and the playoffs. It was just his 2nd hit so far in the postseason, as he is now 2 for 9. 1-0 is fouled off the glove of catcher Ben Lavorsi and back to the backstop, as you might have been able to hear the thud of the padding right in front of me here at McDonough Park. 1-1 on Trustin Riley. Young working quickly from the windup, the 1-1 to Riley. Driven high in the air, deep left field, but foul, as that one will drop in, and it will be a long strike, as it's now 1-2 on Riley. Top of the order, Jesse Hall is waiting on deck for his turn. Lavorsi pulls the catcher's mask back down, flashes some signs to his starter, Christian Young, and now the 1-2 to Riley. Grounded to third, but just foul, as that one was supposed to be a high fastball. Catcher Ben Lavorsi motioned up with the glove right before the pitch was thrown. It ended up being just a normal fastball, about belt high. Riley just laid on it, shot a foul, so still 1-2. And working quickly from the windup, as always, with nobody on base, is now actually Trustin Riley will call time, as that one just a little too long for his liking. Mentioned Young works quickly from the windup. He usually just gets his sign and goes, but with a guy on, it's when he really slows the pace down. 1-2 to Riley. Breaking ball, called strike 3. He backdoored him with the big bender, and Riley is set down on strikes for the final out here in the 6th inning. We move to the 7th, 3-2. Geneva still on top. We go to the 7th inning here, McDonough Park, 3-2. Wings still on top as they look to win tonight and keep their season alive and pull even in the 3-game set with Jamestown. Jamestown obviously leading 1-0 in the series, courtesy of their walk-off win last night on the single off the bat of Brandon Nania. But here tonight is the Wings on top as we get into the final back end of the game. Top of the 7th inning, starter Stephen Branch back out. He will face the bottom of the order, led off by Dalen Lee. First pitch is popped up foul, as initially giving chase is Zach Miller, but that one will bounce right on the concourse next to the grandstand. I was waiting for the loud bang that usually comes when a ball hits the metal roof here in Geneva, but that ball landing probably not more than a foot to the left of the grandstand. So 0-1 on Lee. As here comes the pitch from Branch, and it's a called strike at the knees. Quickly 0-2 on Lee, who has plated the only 2 runs of the game for the Jammers. That came on a 2 RBI single back in the 4th. The inning was ended on that same play as Ben Lavorsi was thrown out at third by right fielder Trustin Riley. 0-2, shot foul and out of play. Count still 0-2 as Lee doing a good job to keep this at-bat going. I mentioned the 2-run single for Dalen in the 4th that went along with his fly out to left field to end the 2nd. So altogether, 1 for 2 on the day is Lee. He was 1 for 2 in the game last night, so he is consistent. And an 0-2 offering from Stephen Branch is bounced in the dirt. That one will get to the backstop. 1-2 on Lee now, as Branch back out there for his 7th inning of work has looked very sharp, as he has only allowed 1 hit. That was the single by Dalen Lee I was just talking about. He also has allowed 5 walks and a hit batter. As the 1-2 is swung on and missed by Dalen Lee, as he is down on strikes for the first out here in the 7th. That is the 10th strikeout of the game for Stephen Branch, as he has moved into double digits, and he is having himself some kind of night here tonight as the Red Wings starter. He now has a strikeout in every inning here tonight, at least one, sometimes more than that, as now he starts off the 7th with a K, and he will face Sterling Hayes, who is 0 for 1 with, you guessed it, a strikeout back in the 3rd. First pitch to Hayes, popped foul and out of play. As we take a look at the Jammers, there are only 3 players left in the lineup who haven't struck out. O'Vorsey are the only 3 left standing. 0-1 to Sterling Hayes. High and outside with the fastball. That will even the count 1 ball and 1 strike. As I mentioned, the season high in strikeouts for Branch prior to tonight was 6. He did that 4 times, twice against the Jammers, and the only 2 starts he had against Jamestown. As the 1-1 to Hayes is ripped into center. Coming on is Jack Harris, and he will make the run and catch in the gap for out number 2 here in the top of the 7th. As both teams seeing the benefit of having a speedy center fielder, as Chase Kang made a great sliding catch in the gap a couple innings back that saved at least maybe 1 run, maybe more. And now Jack Harris doing a good job to cut a ball off in the gap. So that will bring up number 9 batter Brett Migliori. Migliori is 0 for 2 on the day, 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. Those coming in the 3rd and 5th as he bats for the 3rd time here in the 7th. First pitch is popped up on the infield. Third baseman Justin Barr going back, now getting called off by Tanner Murray, and Murray will make the catch. A quick inning for starter Stephen Branch as he sets the Jammers down in order. It's time to stretch here at McDonough Park. 3-2, Geneva on top. We move to the bottom of the 7th inning at McDonough Park, 3-2. Geneva on top in the winner go-home game for the Wings as they look to force a potential Game 3 tomorrow night against the Jamestown Jammers. It will be top of the order due up here in the 7th for the Wings, led off by Jesse Hall, and he will come up against the new arm. It'll be right-hander number 9, Trevor Lloyd, coming into the game for the Jammers, so the night is over for starter Christian Young. He went 6 innings, only gave up 3 runs as he pitched pretty well, but he's on the losing end of things as it stands right now. And Trevor Lloyd, native of Knoxville, Tennessee, will come in and take things over for Jamestown. 5'11", 155 pounds is Lloyd. He was 4-3 with a 4.02 earned run average in the regular season in 14 appearances for Jamestown. 3 of them were starts. First pitch to Hall is high and tight for ball 1, 1-0. As to expand on the numbers, Lloyd, 31 1/3 innings, 24 hits, 14 runs, 8 walks, and 28 Ks for the righty who pitches at Division II Tusculum College, as the 1-0 is taken up high and 2-0. As Lloyd struggling to find the zone a little bit as he comes in relief in this one, as the Red Wings looking for some insurance here in the 7th. 2-0 to Hall. Fastball right down the middle. as Hall was taken all the way, counting out 2-1 as we dig a little deeper into the numbers of Lloyd. He has faced off against the Wings 3 times, the latest coming on the last day of the regular season on July 31st. 2-1 to Hall, high and outside, 3-1. As mentioned, these two teams have matched up. Tonight is the 13th time, so there's really no secrets left on either side. These teams are very familiar with one another, and that might pay off a little bit here against Lloyd as the 3-1 is taken high and in, and it's a leadoff walk for Jesse Hall here in the bottom of the 7th.
From Pensacola, Florida, the third baseman, number 11, Justin Barr.
So that'll bring up Justin Barr, as we will see if the Red Wings maybe elect to play some small ball, maybe put a bunt on, but Barr showing he can definitely handle the bat. If not, he has a solo home run so far in this one and a 1-for-3 effort. First pitch to Barr, he does show bunt and gets one down. It's a beauty. Coming off the mound is Lloyd. He will field and make a great play to just get Justin Barr at first. So Barr looking to bunt for a hit. It turns into a sack, as getting down to second is Jesse Hall on the sacrifice bunt. And there's a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Tanner Murray. So great job there by Barr. He kind of caught the Jammers by surprise, as Barr wasn't initially showing bunt when the pitch was being thrown, but at the last second threw it down, got a great one down, and great play by Trevor Lloyd. So just great baseball play all around, sacrifice bunt, as it will go down in the books, pushing Jesse Hall to second, and Tanner Murray coming to the plate. 1-for-3 on the day is Murray. His lone hit was a single back in the first. First pitch from Lloyd, breaking ball in there for a called strike, 0-1, as Murray taking that breaker. I don't think he was really expecting it first pitch, but a good pitch by reliever Trevor Lloyd has the count 0-1. Aside from the single, Murray has struck out and flied out, those coming in the 3rd and 5th, as he bats for the 4th time here in the 7th. Lloyd with a check of the runner and the 0-1. Ripped up the middle, that'll get through for a base hit. Jesse Hall rounding third, and now he will score easily as the ball gets all the way past Chase Kang and rolls all the way to the wall. Rounding second, going to third is Tanner Murray. He'll be waved home. And here's the throw to the plate. Sliding in is Murray, and he is out at the plate. What a relay that was by the Jamestown Jammers, cutting off Tanner Murray at the plate. As Murray shares a laugh with his teammates, it does go down an RBI single for Tanner Murray. He tried to go for the unconventional inside the Parker on the error by Chase Kang, but ultimately just an RBI single. As Murray, I thought he was almost in there. It was a great relay. Chase Kang picked up that ball at the base of the 402 sign in center, got it into, I believe it was shortstop Alex O'Donnell, who threw it the rest of the way. Ben Lavorsi went up and got it and put a great tag down, but not to overshadow the fact that a run did score, as that was Jesse Hall coming around, a much-needed insurance run for the Wings, as they now lead 4-2 here in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs, and Nick Lebraska coming to the plate as assistant coach for the Jammers, Hayden Carter, will go out and have a chat. So we'll circle that play. Could end up being huge, as Tanner Murray erased at home, as I can't really fault third base coach Alex Bellardini for sending Murray there. It was a bang-bang play at the plate. Could have gone either way. It had to have been a perfect relay for the Jammers in order to cut Murray down, and it was. So Jammers getting burned at first, but making up for it. 4-2 game, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, and Nick Lebraska coming up in search of his first hit here tonight, as the crazy hops in the outfield wreaking havoc on outfielders again there, as we've seen all season long, this time benefiting the Wings, as it could have been a play at the plate had Kang fielded that ball cleanly, but Jesse Hall scored easily as the first pitch to Lebraska is a breaking ball, called strike, and again, Nick Lebraska unhappy with the strike zone of home plate umpire Leo Cintron, as those two have some words for each other, but it's an 0-1 count. Lloyd from the windup, the 0-1. Breaking ball low and out as Lebraska turns around and asks Cintron if he's going to call that one a strike too, as Lebraska smiling and laughing a bit there. Hopefully it's all in good fun as those two going back and forth, but the 1-1 to Lebraska is on the way, and that hit him. As Lebraska right on top of the plate, as you might have to check that baseball for a dent, as that one bouncing off the arm of the 6'5", 245-pound Nick Lebraska, and that will be it for reliever Trevor Lloyd, as manager Anthony Barone making the slow walk to the mound. He has already signaled to the bullpen for reliever. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Nick Nebraska on first, as Jamestown will bring in a new pitcher. We'll tell you all about him when we come back here on Red Wings TV. 4-2, Wings on top, bottom 7. Back with you here at McDonough Park, bottom of the 7th. 4-2, Red Wings now on top thanks to the run they just scored. Nick Nebraska on first and 2 outs, as the new pitcher in the game for the Jammers will be right-hander number 18, Colin Johnston, as the native of Rochester, New York, will come into the game and try to end this inning here, as the Red Wings threatening for more with Jack Harris coming to the plate. Johnston, 6'1" and even 200 pounds. He was 2-0 in the regular season with a 4.01 ERA in 16 appearances, 2 of them starts, as he also pitched last night in Jamestown. He gave up an earned run on a hit in 1 inning of work. So back out here tonight is Johnston, as he will deal with Jack Harris, who's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. First pitch to Harris, breaking ball outside, 1-0. As now both pitchers in the game, Johnston for the Jammers and Stephen Branch for the Wings, native of Rochester, New York, as this game has been handed over to a couple natives of the 585 area code, and Johnston will face off against Harris, as the 1-0 is swung on and foul tipped into the mid of catcher Ben Lavorsi. As Harris, I mentioned a pair of walks. He has stolen a base. That was in the 4th, and he came around to score on the Langston Livingston 2-run home run. As Harris still in search of his first hit tonight, he has hits in his first 2 playoff games this summer. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Harris taking some huge hacks at these pitches from Colin Johnston, but coming up empty, as Johnston now with 2 strikes, looking for a big strikeout to get his team out of this inning with only 1 run scored. Harris, a couple twirls of the bat, waiting for Johnston to come set, and here's the pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. So Colin Johnston comes in, faces one batter, and strikes him out as he does his job. We go to the 8th inning. Red Wings do score 1. They now lead 4-2 as we move to the 8th. We move to the 8th inning here at McDonough Park, 4-2, Red Wings on top. New pitcher in the game for the Wings will be right-hander number 2, Joey Haas, as the closer will come in for the unconventional 6-out save here tonight in the 8th, as he will come on in relief of Stephen Branch, who did an unbelievable job. The final line for Branch, 7 innings, only 1 hit, 2 runs, 6 walks, and a hefty 10 strikeouts for the righty, as he sits in line for the win right now if Haas can keep the Jammers at bay here, but Haas will have to deal with the top of the order for the Jammers, led off by Josh Bramall. As for Haas, it will be his 19th appearance of the season combined between the regular season and the playoffs. He was 2-0 with a 0.93 ERA in the regular season, 17 games worked, 3 saves, as he had 37 strikeouts in just 19 1/3 innings. As the first pitch to Bramall is in there for a called strike on the inside corner. Jamestown dugout doesn't like it, but it's 0-1 on the leadoff man Bramall, who's 0-3 with a pair of strikeouts, all of those off starter Stephen Branch. Mentioned Haas did get into a playoff game as well. That was on Wednesday, the one-game playoff against Elmira. He worked an inning, gave up 2 hits and a run, but he did strike out 2 and earn the save. 0-1 to Bramall. This one is inside, and that evens the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Bramall. Haas, the hard-throwing, side-arming righty. I mentioned he struck out 37 in 19 1/3 innings in the regular season. He also walked only 6 and gave up just 2 runs all season. So definitely not a bad option to go to here if you're the Wings, up by 2 in the 8th, as the 1-1 pitch is on its way to Bramall. Shot down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. As moving over will be Langston Livingston. He will field in foul territory and get it back in quickly to hold Josh Bramall to just a single, but the Jammers with the leadoff man on here, courtesy of the single and the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Chase King. There's a couple lefties here for the Jammers facing off against the side-arming righty, as now we see it will be a pinch runner in the game for Josh Bramall at first. That's number 6, Chris Rubottom.
Thank your attention, please. Running for the Jammers at first base, number 6, Chris Rubottom.
So Bramall sees his night come to an end altogether. He was 1 for 4, but the 1 hit coming at a big time for Jamestown here in the 8th to get things going. As we take a look at Rubottom's stats coming into the game as the pinch runner at first, he was 8 for 10 stealing bases in the regular season, so he does have some speed, and Haas will have to pay attention to him. But more importantly, I guess, is Chase King at the plate now, the tying run, as I mentioned here in the top of the 8th with the leadoff man on. As King will come up like Bramall before that at bat. King 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. His other out was a pop out to shortstop Tanner Murray that ended the 5th. First time facing off against Joey Haas for King, and the first pitch of the at bat is just outside. Joey Haas turns away from home plate umpire Leo Cintron. He doesn't know where that one missed, but it's 1-0. On the number 2 batter in the order, Chase King, the native of Houston, Texas. 1-0 is now a pickoff throw over to first, as Joey Haas just lofted that one over to Nick Nebraska. And he's got to be careful doing that, as he could throw it away doing that. But now he will throw it to first a little harder, actually, I guess a lot harder, as he gunned that one over full speed. So still 1-0 on King, as Joey Haas tells Nick Nebraska to keep the throws back low, because Nebraska threw that last one in the lights. 1-0 to King. Pop foul, that one will get out of play, as initially giving chase was Justin Barr, but he will watch it bounce in the Jammers bullpen. Count evens 1-1 on King, who led the Perfect Game Collegiate League in triples this season with 7. He also had 9 doubles in the regular season and 2 so far in the playoffs, both obviously coming last night in the Jammers' lone playoff game before this evening. Zach Miller flashing some signs. Joey Haas coming set. Rubottom with a good lead. And the 1-1. Up high to King. Count now 2-1. As Haas coming from that low sidearm delivery. He also, when he comes set, basically turns his back to the hitter. He's facing more towards shortstop Tanner Murray than he is catcher Zach Miller. As it can be tough for hitters to see the ball. He kind of hides it a little bit, especially on righties. But right now, King the lefty with 2-1 count. And here's the pitch just outside. And the count now 3-1 as Jammers dugout starting to get some life here, down by 2. But first man on, that was Josh Bramall. He singled, since been pinch run for by Chris Rubottom, and now a 3-1 count on Chase King with the number 3 batter in the order, Alex O'Donnell, waiting on deck. Haas coming set, the 3-1. It's in there on the outside corner, and that will fill the count 3-2. So with no outs in the 8th, we'll keep an eye on Chris Rubottom over at first, see how aggressively the Jammers want to play this, as occasionally with the full count, you'll see the runner take off. As no outs here, the Jammers obviously want to be smart, but Rubottom does have good speed. Haas coming set at the belt. The 3-2 runner goes. Pitch is strike 3 called. Throw down to second is not in time, but it is strike 3. Chase King does not believe it. He has some words with home plate umpire Leo Cintron, as that is a heated, one-sided argument from Chase King, as Leo Cintron just ignores him and lets him walk back to the dugout. So getting out a second on the stolen base is Rubottom, as now Alex O'Donnell will come to the plate with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. As that is the 11th man set down on strikes tonight for the Jammers, 10 of them by starter Stephen Branch, and now the first from Joey Haas, as he is no stranger to the strikeout either, as I mentioned. O'Donnell up now, he's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. He also has a couple stolen bases. First time facing Haas, and the first pitch just inside for a ball, 1-0, as this is the first righty Joey Haas gets to face. I'm sure I've never talked to him before, but I can only imagine he prefers the righties. He is very tough on right-handed batters. He works from the third base side of the rubber, and as he comes with that sidearm delivery, it looks like he's coming behind the batter, and that can be very tough for righties. Haas with a look at the runner, the 1-0. Grounded up the middle. Shortstop Tanner Murray comes over and makes a great play, as he will throw on to first for out number 2 here in the 8th, as Joey Haas with a little bit of a smile there, as that was a hard-hit grounder up the middle, and at the last second, as you probably saw on the video, it took a crazy high hop, and I don't know if Tanner Murray ever played basketball, but he's got some ups, as he got up way high behind the second base bag, leaped up, snow-coned it, and threw on to first for the second out, as getting to third is Chris Rubottom with 2 outs, and Brandon Nania coming to the plate in a 2-run ball game here in the top of the 8th. Nania digging in, he's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. His 1 out was in his last at-bat back in the 6th when he grounded out to Nick Nebraska. First pitch from Joey Haas is a breaking ball low, and it's 1-0 as Joey Haas having to face his third lefty in 4 batters here in the 8th inning. Haas with a long look in. He has his sign, comes set at the belt, the 1-0 to Brandon Nania. Called strike at the top of the zone on the outside corner. That evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike on Nania. He is one of only 3 Jammers batters here tonight who has not yet struck out, as Joey Haas is trying to do his best to change that. The 1-1. Right in there for a strike, and it's 1-2, as I'm not sure if Brandon Nania was fooled there or what, but that pitch was pretty much right down the middle. And Nania electing to lay off, and the count now 1-2 as Haas hunting a huge out here in the top of the 8th inning. Haas set at the belt, the 1-2 to Nania. Broken back grounder up the middle. Joey Haas will backhand and throw a bullet over to first baseman Nick Nebraska for the final out here in the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 4-2. Geneva still on top. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning, as it is still 4-2. Geneva on top. Colin Johnston back out on the mound for the Jammers, as I see a comment coming through from C-Mate as he talks about the heat thrown over to first by Joey Haas on that last play of the inning. It really was, as Joey Haas probably threw that ball to first harder than he threw any throw to the plate, or any pitch to the plate, I should say, and it caught Nick Lebraska by surprise, as Lebraska kind of joked with Haas after the inning, but ultimately a clean inning for the reliever, and it will be Zach Miller leading things off in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch to him from reliever Colin Johnston is down low for ball 1. Miller is 0 for 3 on the day, a strikeout and a pair of flyouts, 1 to right, 1 to center for the Red Wings catcher here tonight as he bats for the 4th time. The 1-0 is on the outside corner, 1-1 to Miller, the native of Lincoln University, Pennsylvania. Miller hit just a shade over 300 on the regular season, 302 in 26 contests. Johnston from the windup, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. That one was in the dirt, and he got Miller to go chase. 1-2 now on Zach Miller, who was hitless last night in Jamestown. He was 0 for 4, and he's in danger of duplicating that with an out in this at-bat, hoping to change it and turn it into a 1 for 4 instead, as Miller was 2 for 4 in the opening game of the postseason on Wednesday against Elmira. One of the two was a solo home run. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, a half-hearted swing by Zach Miller there on a breaking ball. He's frustrated with himself. He'll go back to the dugout as out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Langston Livingston will stroll to the plate. As it was Livingston with so far the difference in this one. His 2-run home run gave the Wings a 3-2 lead back in the 4th. Since then, the Red Wings have added one in the 7th. As we sit here, 4-2 Geneva in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch to Livingston, just outside, 1-0 from reliever Colin Johnston, as Livingston, aside from the home run, has been put out twice, once on a pop-out, once on a strikeout, so overall 1 for 3 on the day from the big lefty. 1-0 is shot foul down the third base line, as that one narrowly misses the light stanchion down the third base foul line, but it's 1-1 on Livingston, the native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who hit .204 in the regular season, but has a hit in each playoff game so far for Geneva here in the playoffs. The 1-1. Thought about swinging, didn't, and took a strike with the changeup on the outside corner. 1-2 from Colin Johnston, as Johnston showing that he has some good off speed here this evening. From the windup, the 1-2 to Livingston. Ripped into center field. Moving over is Chase Kang, and he can't get it, as he'll have to play it on a hop in the gap. Getting it back in quickly, though, and holding Livingston to a single is Kang, but it's a 1-out base runner for the Red Wings here in the bottom of the 8th as they look to add to their 2-run lead. That was a 2-strike hanger from Colin Johnston. That breaking ball caught way too much of the plate, and Livingston made him pay with his second hit of the night. First multi-hit game of the playoffs for Livingston, and that'll bring up Jared Gillis, who is looking for his first hit here tonight. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Gillis is high and out, 1-0 on the native of Smyrna, Delaware. I mentioned Gillis 0 for 3. He has a pair of looking strikeouts in the 2nd and 4th, and a ground out to short in the 6th. Johnston with a long look into his catcher, Ben Lavorsi, finally has the sign he likes. Quick check of Livingston, and the 1-0 pitch to Jared Gillis. Outside again, as Johnston missing off the plate twice in a row, 2-0 now on Jared Gillis, with number 9 batter lefty Trustin Riley on deck. He has a double already here tonight. Johnston sent up the letters, the 2-0 to Gillis. Fouled back as that fastball got in on the hands a bit of Gillis, and the count now 2-1 on the righty Jared Gillis. As I was saying, Gillis 0 for 3 so far here tonight. He was 1 for 4 in the first playoff game of the season for the Wings back on Wednesday against Elmira, as Gillis also had an RBI in that one. The 2-1. Called strike on the outside corner with the breaking ball. Evens the count 2-2, and a gutsy pitch there by Colin Johnston with a 2-1 count. He elected to go to the breaking ball and got it over, as I don't think Gillis was expecting it, or if he was, he didn't offer to swing, as it was pretty much a perfect pitch. So 2-2, 1 out. Livingston on first. And here's the pitch. Rip foul down the first base line as that one will bounce off the roof of the pavilion down the right field line and bounce into the Red Wings bullpen. So still 2-2 on Gillis here. Bottom of the 8th, 4-2. Wings on top as they look to even this series 1 game apiece and force a Game 3 tomorrow night, which will be played in Newark. It would be a home game for Jamestown, though. 2-2, chopped slowly left side, coming on shortstop O'Donnell. He'll make a great play to second for 1, and that's all they'll get, as it's a fielder's choice, 6-4 for the lone putout. Out at second is Livingston, and reaching first is Gillis, as Trustin Riley will come to the plate. Great play by O'Donnell, though. As I mentioned, there's not too many shortstops in the league who can make that play, and O'Donnell is one of them. So still a guy on first now, 2 outs. And Riley coming to the plate. He's 1 for 3. I mentioned he has a double. That came back in the 4th. First pitch from Johnston is a breaking ball in there for a called strike, 0-1 on Riley, who's facing off against Johnston for the first time here tonight. As I mentioned, Johnston did pitch last night, and the Jammers win, getting used here in back-to-back nights. Pickoff throw over to first before the 0-1 offering, as Jared Gillis diving back in easily. Red Wings don't run very much, but apparently nobody told that to Jamestown. They love to throw over and keep runners close, even if the leads are pretty small. 0-1 to Riley. Chopped at the plate, foul, that one catching a piece of the back leg of Riley, and it's quickly 0-2 on the Red Wings right fielder. On deck is top of the order Jesse Hall. He is waiting his turn, although I'm sure Hall would be fine with not hitting again the rest of this game, as long as that meant the Red Wings closed things out in the top of the 9th. Johnston from the stretch, he is sent at the letters. The 0-2 offering to Trustin Riley. Swing and a miss, nasty changeup from Colin Johnston there, as he sets down Riley on strikes. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Red Wings looking to close this one out and force a Game 3 tomorrow night. They lead 4-2 going to the 9th inning. We move to the top of the 9th inning here at McDonough Park. Last chance for Jamestown as Geneva tries to close them out and force a pivotal Game 3. Winner take all tomorrow, which would be a home game for Jamestown, but would be in Newark, as that one a neutral site game, as Joey Haas back out on the mound in search of the 2-inning, 6-out save, as he threw a scoreless 8th, looking to do that again here in the 9th. There is one change for the Red Wings, however. A new right fielder has come in the game. That is Sam Fuller, replacing Trustin Riley. So the Wings going for a little more speed in the outfield. That's no slight against Riley. He moves pretty well, but Sam Fuller with blazing speed now in the game in right field. Leading things off will be Jeff Timko, and the first pitch from Joey Haas is up high for ball 1. The dangerous Timko, I mentioned he led the Jammers in batting average the regular season with a mark of .349. He is 0 for 3 tonight and 0 for 6 total in the playoffs so far. He has 4 strikeouts, 2 in each game for the Jammers. 1-0 just inside, as it's 2-0 now, as Joey Haas looking to close things out. Red Wings are up 4-2 in the 9th, as If the Red Wings can, they will continue their season, as I mentioned, tomorrow night. 2-0 to Timko. It's in there at the top of the zone for a called strike. 2-1 now on Timko, the native of Rochester Hills, Michigan. As I mentioned, Timko is still looking for his first playoff hit after a great regular season. Haas set at the belt, the 2-1. Called strike on the outside corner. Haas going back to the fastball there, 2-1, and it evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes as this good crowd on hand on a Friday night is coming to life here in the top of the 9th inning. Haas looking for a big strikeout. It's what he does best. 2-2 to Timko. Called strike 3. A slider absolutely froze Jeff Timko as he was fooled on that one, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 9th on the looking strikeout. Just a beautiful pitch there. No argument from Jeff Timko. I think as soon as Joey Haas let that pitch go, Timko knew he was dead meat. It was a slider right down the middle, but it started at the body of Timko and just kind of buckled his knees. So great job there by Joey Haas, battling back from 2-0 to get the looking strikeout, and now he will deal with catcher Ben Lavorsi. First pitch of the at-bat is a called strike at the knees with the fastball 0-1. As Lavorsi 0 for 2 on the day, a pair of air outs, a pop out to short, and a fly out to center. Those are sandwiched around a hit by pitch in the 4th. That was against starter Stephen Branch. Lavorsi pointing the bat right at pitcher Joey Haas. Now Joey Haas comes set, and the 0-1 to Lavorsi. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. Quickly 0-2 as Joey Haas going right after these Jamestown hitters here in the 9th inning. On deck is Dalen Lee, the right fielder. He has driven in the only 2 runs of the game for Jamestown to this point. First things first, though, an 0-2 count on Ben Lavorsi, and here's the pitch. Just off the plate outside as Joey Haas tried backdooring a slider. Everybody kind of froze for a second as that pitch was pretty close, but ultimately called outside by home plate umpire Leo Cintron, and it's a 1-2 count now on Ben Lavorsi. The 1-2 to Lavorsi. Fastball up and out as Haas, the hard-throwing right-handed sidearmer, trying to get the lefty Lavorsi to chase, but the catcher laying off, and the count evens 2-2. So the opposite of what we saw in the first at-bat, 2-0 to 2-2. Now it was 0-2 to 2-2, but Haas still looking for the same result, hunting a strikeout. 2-2 to Lavorsi. Just inside with the slider. As the crowd now getting on home plate umpire Leo Cintron, that slider must have just been off the plate in, so it's a full count now as Jamestown looking to get a guy on and bring the tying run to the plate as Joey Haas looking to retire Ben Lavorsi for out number 2. Haas sent at the belt, and the payoff pitch. High and out, and it's ball 4, a great at-bat by Ben Lavorsi there. You got to give credit to him, as he led the team in walks in the regular season with 37, as he has his first of the postseason here tonight. And Dalen Lee will come to the plate now. I mentioned he is the tying run, but before that, we will have a pinch runner over at first for catcher Ben Lavorsi. We catch a number, it's number 27, Rain Pfeiffer, coming into the game, just adding a little more speed over at first. So
Pitch running at first for the Jammer is Rain Pfeiffer, number 27.
The Red Wings will have a chat at the mound just between catcher Miller and pitcher Haas. As we take a look at Pfeiffer's numbers, he only attempted 2 steals during the regular season. He was 2 for 2, but Pfeiffer does not run very much, but I guess he's just a little faster than catcher Ben Lavorsi in the eyes of manager Anthony Barone. So Pfeiffer in the game running at first, 1 out, top of the 9th, 4-2 Red Wings on top, and Dalen Lee, as I mentioned, the man with the only 2 RBIs for the Jammers, will dig in. First pitch of the at-bat. Grounded up the middle. Moving over shortstop Murray. He dives and he won't get it. It's into center field for a base hit. As now the Jammers have the tying run on first, courtesy of the single by Dalen Lee. As moving up to second is Rain Pfeiffer. But I guess a silver lining is now that Haas will get to face a righty in Sterling Hayes, as we all know how tough Joey Haas is on right-handed hitters. So 1 out, first and second runners in a 2-run game, 4-2 Geneva. As Sterling Hayes digging in, as I mentioned, he is 0 for 2 on the day. He drew a walk and stole a base in the 5th, but other than that, he is struck out and flied out. Big moment here in the game. The first pitch from Haas to Hayes. Fastball just off the plate, 1-0. As Geneva's dugout groaning a little bit there. But it's called a ball, 1-0. Number 9 batter Brett Migliori is on deck, if you were wondering. But first things first, Joey Haas dealing with the recent high school graduate and Vanderbilt University commit, Sterling Hayes. 1-0, called strike with the slider as Haas went to the breaking ball on 1-0 as that froze Sterling Hayes, and it evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Long look in for his sign. He has it. Comes set at the belt, gives a check of Rain Pfeiffer at second. Another look, and now the 1-1 to Hayes. Called strike again, as again Haas went to the breaking ball, and again Sterling Hayes had no answer as he was frozen. 1-2 now. On the Jammers, third baseman, number 8 batter, Sterling Hayes, as I mentioned, still first and second, 1 out. Here in the top of the 9th, 4-2, Geneva on top. Haas looking for a huge strikeout. He already has 1 in the inning. That was of Jeff Timko, the only other righty he has faced here in the 9th. Check of the runner, the 1-2 to Hayes. Just outside, Hayes went to the slider for the 3rd time in a row. This time he missed for the first time, and it evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes, as we'll see what Hayes goes with here. He's shown good confidence in the slider, and he's not afraid to throw it consecutive pitches. If he threw it again here, it'd be the 4th in a row. Peering in for his sign, catcher Zach Miller, flashing a bunch of them behind the plate. Now Haas will step off as those two not on the same page, and Sterling Hayes will step out, thinking that they are taking too long, and both guys just wanting to reset. Both men appear to be ready now. Joey Haas coming set, check of the runner, the 2-2 to Hayes. Just outside with the breaking ball, he went to the slider again. For the 4th time in a row, Sterling Hayes with a great eye. You could tell Hayes wanted to offer at that pitch, thought about it, but laid off. Full count now. First and second runners, 1 out. Top of the 9th, 4-2, Geneva on top, nobody warming. In the Red Wings bullpen, this is Joey Haas's game, as he has a full count on Sterling Hayes, and this is easily one of the bigger at-bats of the Red Wings season to this point. Haas set at the belt. The payoff pitch to Sterling Hayes. Runners go. Pitch is fouled back, and on the concourse here at McDonough Park, I'm a little surprised that Jamestown started both runners. I guess I shouldn't be, because they steal bases every chance they can. I mentioned they led the league with 118 in just 45 games in the regular season. They already have 4 here tonight, and trying for more there, but Sterling Hayes, the pitch was too close to take, and he shot it foul and out of play. So we'll have another 3-2. We'll see what Jamestown wants to do here on the second 3-2 chances. Now the cat's out of the bag. They don't really have a chance to catch the Red Wings by surprise. Another 3-2, runners go. Pitch is called, strike 3 on the inside corner. Throw down to third is not in time, but it is a strikeout of Sterling Hayes. It was a breaking ball on the inner half, and Sterling Hayes can't believe it. He jumps around, but he is sent back to the dugout on strikes for the second out here in the top of the 9th, but the Jamestown Jammers have pushed the tying run into scoring position as Rain Pfeiffer now stands on third, and Dalen Lee is now on second. The batter will be Brett Migliori. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Both of the strikeouts were against starter Stephen Branch. Haas peering in for his sign as he has to deal with another left-handed hitter. First pitch to Migliori. Breaking ball just low and out as Haas tried to backdoor one, but just missing, and it's 1-0 to Brett Migliori. Chris Rubottom is out on deck for the Jammers. If you remember, he pinch hit for Josh Bramall just last inning, so Rubottom would now be in the game as a hitter as well. First things first, though, 1-0 count, and here's the pitch to Migliori. On the outside corner for strike 1, that evens the count 1-1. Migliori thought it was outside, but the count's even as Joey Haas just 1 out away from extending the Red Wings season another day and pushing a the series to a pivotal winner go home, or should I say winner take all, Game 3. The one backdoor breaking ball just outside. It's now 2-1. It seems like every pitch here in this big at-bat, there's groaning from one dugout or the other. I guess it's not such an easy job being an umpire, as you can't please everyone, but both teams really begging for calls here in one of the biggest situations in both these teams' seasons so far. 2-1 to Migliore. Outside, as that one, the first pitch of the at-bat, that wasn't particularly close. 3-1 now on Brett Migliore, and catcher Zach Miller will go have a chat with Joey Haas, ask him what he wants to do here, as now third baseman Justin Barr will come in and join the conversation. Got to think Miller just talking strategy here with Haas, maybe saying, be careful, you do have a base open, and you have a righty on deck, as the only two righties Haas has faced this inning, he struck out. Those were Jeff Timko and just Sterling Hayes a moment ago. So Haas has to be careful here with a 3-1 count and a base open, but if you put Brett Migliore on, he is the go-ahead run in the ninth inning. So can't be too careful, but if you're Joey Haas, this is a huge situation, obviously. Haas peering in for his sign. He quickly has it. Comes set at the belt, 3-1 to Migliore. Called strike at the knees. Perfect pitch, as Brett Migliore was ready to toss the bat back to the dugout, but instead it's a strike. 3-2 count. Jamestown down to their final strike here in Game 2 of the Perfect Game Collegiate League semifinals, but a single could tie the game. Huge pitch. Doesn't get any bigger than this. Joey Haas set at the belt, the 3-2 to Migliore. Popped up. Third base, ranging over is Tanner Murray. He calls, and he will make the catch, and the ball game is over. The Geneva Red Wings take this one by a final score of 4-2, and they force a final game in the series, Game 3 tomorrow at Colburn Park in Newark, New York. It will be a home game for the Jammers, but it's a winner-take-all. The loser will go home. Winner will advance to the championship, as that was a huge game for the Red Wings. The winner will be Stephen Branch. He threw a gem. Loser is starter for the Jammers, Christian Young. His first loss in 2018, Joey Haas, with the huge 6-out, 2-inning save, as he extends the Red Wings season another day as they try to eliminate the Jamestown Jammers tomorrow and advance to the Perfect Game Collegiate League Championship. As I mentioned, next game tomorrow night, 7:05, I believe. We will double-check that. But Colburn Park, Newark, New York, Red Wings at Jammers. Winner goes to the championship. Loser goes home. I will not have the one, as it is a Jammers home game. But if you're not tired of me yet, I will have the calls for